That's 1819news.com.
Well, the first weekend of alligator hunting has already taken place in the state of Alabama, and it resulted in a massive capture for Taylor Douglas. The gator that Douglas and his crew found was 12 feet 9 inches long, 524 pounds. That is a record to break for the remainder of the gator hunting season. The gator was caught south of Interstate 10 in Mobile Bay and took over an hour to be reeled into the boat. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group. Here's your Real Estate Minute. What's the secret behind selling your home fast and selling it for fair market value or above? There's no secret, but here's some suggestions that I've learned over 46 years in the real estate business. First, price it right. Based on other sales in your neighborhood, what should it sell for? Second, make sure all the little and big repairs you may have put off all get done before you put it on the market. Third, consider making some improvements to your house first, repainting inside and out, updating the flooring, professionally clean the whole house. Fourth, consider helping the buyer with a portion of closing costs and providing a warranty too. Number 5, don't try to do this on your own. Hire a professional realtor to provide facts, tips in selling, and guidance all the way through the transaction. Also work with the best realtors from the Goodson Group, fully trained, service-oriented folks. Call Bo Goodson 221-2883 or the Goodson Group 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got a full house here and a full show to get to, but as is tradition on Tuesdays, we're kicking off the show here with Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how are you today?
Oh, fine, Joey. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing quite well. And, well, the big news came out late last night.
Man. Tell me about it. Newsmax, I was on air with Newsmax until midnight Eastern, and I still had to get up at 5 this morning, so.
Oh, man. So tell me about your reaction to this. This is a thick indictment, or what do they call it, a talking indictment?
Good, Joey. A talking or a speaking indictment is the legal terminology for an indictment that includes, in addition to allegations, all the evidence that supports the allegations. This isn't always done, but occasionally the government wants to make it known how it's going to prove its case. So there are 19 defendants. There are 30 unnamed, unindicted, uncharged co-conspirators. There are 91 different crimes charged, but the whole thing comes down to a conspiracy by this is the government's argument now, by Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani and others to have false electors from Georgia sent to the Electoral College. They succeeded in getting 16 Republicans to sign documents swearing that Donald Trump had won the election, that they were elected as the electors from Georgia. Now, not all 16 were charged with being part of the conspiracy or with perjury. Only 4 were. What happened to the other 12? They got immunity from the government. They are Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani's nightmare. They are the chief witnesses against them. The whole thing concerns an effort to get these 16 to sign the documents. Now, Giuliani also tried to get the legislature of the state of Georgia to declare that Joe Biden had lost and Donald Trump had won. But after the certification by the Secretary of State, and then the recount, and then the recount, and the recertification, the Republican legislature, the Republican governor, the Republican Secretary of State were satisfied that Joe Biden won the election by 11,780 votes. Your listeners will recall that we don't actually vote for a president. It looks like it on the ballot, but you're voting for electors from your state who promise to vote for the candidate that they are pledged to support. Each state has the same number of electors as it does representatives in Congress. So Georgia has 14 members of the House and 2 senators. Therefore, they have 16 electors. This conspiracy is also what's known in Georgia as a RICO, RICO, an acronym. I know it sounds ethnocentric. Doesn't it sound like a Goomba nickname? That's what it is.
Are they picking on Italians? What is that?
Yes, they wrote this in the Nixon era. This is 1970 to put the mob out of business. And who became the most famous prosecutor in America for using the RICO statute to bankrupt the mob? Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
So this statute, which stands for Racketeer Influenced Corrupt Organization, allows the government to tarnish you with the brush of being a racketeer by showing that you engaged in a bunch of little predicate acts that formed the conspiracy in order to achieve a goal that was unlawful. In this case, the fake electors. So that's where it stands. I know that a lot of our Republican friends are upset. The good folks that I was on with Newsmax last night were very, very upset and believe that this is simply election interference. I hadn't read the indictment at the time. Why they released it at 11:45 on a Monday night, I don't know. I didn't get to read it until this morning. Like the 2 federal indictments against him, not like the one in New York, which is very thin, but like the 2 federal indictments against him, this is filled with very, very powerful evidence. And if the government can prove half of this, he's facing jail time.
There's so much here. And again, folks, we're talking to Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always great to have the judge on when stuff like this is breaking. But let me start here. When I look at what, say, the sheriff there in Fulton County has been saying, that I think he said this a week or 2 ago, I look forward to handcuffing him, and it came out today that Trump will have to take a mugshot. I bring up those things because a criticism of Trump has been his language of vengeance, of revenge against the deep state. I'm sitting here now just talking about politics, not necessarily the law. This comes across as vengeance. It doesn't come across as justice to me.
I can see that argument. The sheriff, and I'm sure his team would say, we treat all defendants equally. But it sounds as though the sheriff is somebody that doesn't like Donald Trump and relishes this. Right. Now, there were no handcuffs. There was no mugshot in the Mar-a-Lago indictment or the January 6th indictment. There was a booking. There was technically an arrest. An arrest is defined as confinement by the government where you are not free to leave of your own free will. So even though the Secret Service were there, they took a step back. He went into the custody of federal marshals. They had him sign the book as the defendant. They asked him a couple of basic questions, and they electronically fingerprinted him. They don't use ink anymore, and they let him go. They didn't handcuff him, and they didn't photograph him, which apparently is going to happen in Atlanta next Thursday.
And also, say hi to your dog Chris for me. Also, there in Atlanta, Trump say the crazy thing, he may win again, or somebody else wants to pardon Trump who wins. They can't do a presidential pardon for a state crime like this, right?
That's correct. That's correct. I am unfamiliar with the authority of the governor of Georgia. Not all state governors can pardon state crimes. I'm going to assume that he can, since most governors can. But the president cannot pardon a state crime. So right now, Donald Trump is facing 2 federal crimes for which Ron DeSantis says he'll pardon him if DeSantis is the nominee and eventually becomes president. Trump would probably try to pardon himself, which would cause a bit of a constitutional crisis. The Supreme Court would have to rule on that. But the state charges, the one in New York and the one in Georgia, if there is a conviction, the president cannot interfere with it.
Well, and it just seems like this is politically, this is just going to divide the nation more.
Well, you know, Trump, to Trump's credit, he said, you know, every time there's an indictment, my poll numbers go up, and that is a factual statement. So then he said, and this is so Trumpian, and if you know him as I do, you can't help but chuckle. Give me just one more indictment. I need just one more indictment. I just need 4, and I'll be over the top.
That's what he told us here in Montgomery.
Now he's got his 4th, but I got to tell you, and I was saying this to my colleagues on Newsmax last night, as humorous as Trump can be, and he's got a great sense of humor, and when we're together next, I'll tell you some tales which I wouldn't tell on your show about his sense of humor. This is serious stuff. These are very serious charges, and political defenses will not work. Now, he announced last night that this Monday, he's going to give a speech at Bedminster. That's his club in New Jersey where he spends his summers. And he's going to issue a report prepared by his lawyers, which will refute the indictment. That is an insane thing to do. Why share with the government the roadmap of your defense? The defendant doesn't have to prove anything. The government has to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. Why show them what your defenses are going to be? This is where he damages and weakens his legal position by enhancing his political position.
Now, I believe I heard something last night or this morning as this was breaking. The conversation, some legal conversation about how if you use a RICO statute like this, or if you're using sort of conspiracy charges like this is designed maybe for a quick conviction, but these sort of cases really get, delayed in appeal, and it's a long process, especially with this amount of people involved. What's going on there, and am I characterizing that correctly?
Well, it's easier to prove a RICO case and a conspiracy case than a regular crime. I mean, because you don't have to prove harm. The bomb went off, the building was destroyed. They robbed the bank, the bank lost the money. You understand the victim, but these are victimless crimes because by definition, they didn't succeed. Joe Biden became the president of the United States. The Democratic electors from Georgia were validly chosen and validly certified and validly cast their valid votes for Joe Biden. So the government likes these charges because it doesn't have to prove harm. And all of the behavior of the conspirators, the RICOers, if you will, not all of it needs to be a crime, and not all of it needs to have occurred in Georgia. That's why there are just more than 100 of these predicate events that support the conspiracy, not all of which are criminal and not all of which took place in Georgia. Example, Giuliani gave speeches to legislative bodies in Arizona and in Pennsylvania, and then when in Atlanta pointed to Arizona and pointed to Pennsylvania as examples of what he wanted the legislature in Atlanta to do, even though the legislature in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania and Phoenix, Arizona did not do what he asked them to do. So a lot of this is what we call incipient crimes, attempts to commit a crime, beginning stages of crime, agreement to commit a crime. But me as a libertarian, these are thought crimes, Joey.
Right.
This is punishing thought. Where crime is harm, where there is no harm, there should be no crime. But that's not the law today.
And I was about to ask, is there an aspect of having to prove this of a corrupt intent? And I ask that because is it not a part of the Constitution? And it's been done in this country before of having an alternate slate of electors. Like this has popped up before in presidential politics in the Electoral College.
If Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, the constitutional guru on the team, and he is a constitutional guru, whatever you think of him, had devoted their efforts to persuade the legislature of Georgia to invalidate the popular election, and choose the electors on its own, that would have been perfectly lawful. But instead, persuading people to sign documents that were perjurious because they were swearing to something that wasn't true, that's the crime.
Okay, that's making a lot more sense. It's becoming clear. Before we run out of time, quick update on this Pegasus zero-click software. The FBI did an investigation. This was still being used and sold on the market. Who did the FBI find was doing this?
The FBI itself.
What?
The FBI was unwittingly investigating itself, and the purveyor of this was the FBI's own personal vendor, a guy in New Jersey who owns a warehouse where this illegal software, because you can't import it, you can't possess it, you can't use it. So the FBI locked it up in a warehouse. Some FBI agents were using it. Other FBI agents are trying to find out who the hell is using this stuff. It's against the Fourth Amendment. It's the FBI itself. You can't make it up.
Oh my God. And the way you described that too, it sounded like more stereotypes for Italian folks. Like it's a warehouse, it's New Jersey. What do they produce? Olive oil? Like, my goodness. And you can't make this up.
We don't grow olive trees in New Jersey, but we have a lot of olive oil.
Well said. And it's just like, what's gonna give with the FBI? Because we talk about this all the time, Judge. You see members of Congress just screaming mad in these committee hearings.
If Donald Trump is elected, you're going to have a libertarian. Not saying I know who it is, but you're going to have a libertarian as the FBI director. If Joe Biden is reelected, more of the same. He loves this stuff. Although I'll give him credit for this. He personally invalidated the zero click. It's made in Israel. Under federal law, the president can unilaterally, doesn't need Congress's permission, impose an embargo. When he was told about zero click, it allows whoever owns it to get in your cell phone or your desktop without tricking you into clicking on a link, hence its nickname zero click. When he learned about that, he said, they have warrants? And they said, no. He said, that's it, we're banning it. So I give Joe credit for that. But in terms of politicizing the FBI, it's in his wheelhouse.
Crazy times we live in. Again, folks, this has been Judge Andrew Napolitano on the air with us. And if you want to go to judgenap.com, you can see what's going on there, judgenap.com, or check out Judging Freedom as podcasts, wherever podcasts are available. I tend to watch on YouTube. What do you got coming up on Judging Freedom
today?
Well,
at 2:15 this afternoon Eastern, so just an hour from now, Larry Johnson on the 3 ways the war in Ukraine will end. And at 3 o'clock today, Phil Giraldi, they're both ex-CIA guys. Why is the United States occupying 1/3 of Syria? And how is it we have been there since 2005? And does the American public even know that?
Tune in, folks. And as always, Judge, I appreciate your time. We'll talk again soon.
You got it, my man. All the best, Joey.
I got to see you soon. I want to hear some of those Trump sense of humor stories.
Oh, it's an excuse. It's either I'm going to come to the Gulf Coast or you're going to come to the Big Apple.
There you go. Well, I'm due, but I appreciate it, sir.
Okay, all the best.
Again, Judge Andrew Napolitano, fantastic having him as part of this show here. Eddie is here. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm good. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right. And Sky Mosley is also here. How you doing, Sky?
I'm doing great. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, there's plenty for us to get to today. I mean, but of course, these RICO indictments, 41 counts. Yeah. I mean, what did y'all make of the judge's breakdown there of how this stuff works? Because, I mean, you could hear me. Like, we can go through the law and what the state of the law is today and the arguments Fonnie Willis and all these folks are making right now. But it's kind of like, this just seems corrupt to the core.
Absolutely. What
rule of law?
Absolutely. And not only that, Joey, I mean, I know it's kind of a common saying, everybody breaks how many laws a day?
Right.
Yeah.
This is just, to me, this is just absolutely ridiculous. More, hey, I hate Donald Trump, let's just slander Donald Trump. And using the DOJ or anybody, for that matter, against him or you or me is wrong. Unfortunately, no one will be ever held accountable for that.
Well, and as the judge suggested, Trump has announced a major event next Monday.
All right.
This is to respond not only to the Georgia charges. I can pull up the full thing here in a second, the full statement. We'll do that after the break. But essentially, they're going to lay out what Trump claims to be full and exhaustive just proof that this thing was rigged.
I don't
this
think it'll take
election
much,
was,
but I'm glad. I'm more than interested to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. Here, I always put myself back in those days as we went into December into January, and all the scheming was going on behind the scenes, and nobody really knew what would happen exactly. But do you remember the Sidney Powell accusation? She's
Yes.
one of these co-conspirators in this Georgia indictment. Sidney Powell talked about the Kraken, or something like that. Some say it's a mythical beast made up in the imaginations of homesick sailors. Or some say it's a real thing that manipulates your elections, that sells elections and votes to the highest bidder behind the scenes. They probably meet at Davos or something like that. No, but literally, Sidney Powell is saying the Kraken software, they could, even with like air-gapped items, they could start manipulating all this information, and they're essentially selling elections to the highest bidder. Here's
surprise
my
me.
reaction to this, Eddie and Sky. Folks out there listening, if I knew Sidney Powell, for instance, and she came up with this harebrained idea, and she's gonna say it in public, I'm like, Sidney, I'm your friend, I'm your confidant. Don't do that, especially if what you're saying is true. Because if what you're saying is true, that elections are bought and sold behind the scenes to the highest bidder as the American people go through the charade of voting, do you really think a court case is going to solve that problem and take down those people selling elections? So it's one of those situations, like, if you believe it's that bad, I don't want to believe that just yet. But if you believe it's that bad, the solution to that problem
Just sit on
is
it?
not normal politics, sadly.
That's not going to fix it. Trump's crime, he did not accept that the Democrats stole the election fair and square.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
He didn't just sit down and take it.
Well, and there's so much I wanted to bring
He
up
wanted
with...
a recount.
Right. Well,
Which had never been done before,
we've never
except
had
the last
that.
time
But
the
I-
Democrats
not.
lost.
there was so much I wanted to bring up with Napolitano, because do y'all remember, it's like they got the West Wing reunion cast back together.
Right.
Like, there's Martin Sheen and Bradley Whitford and whoever played Toby on that show. And I forget the guy's
Wasn't
name.
a bad show.
The first couple seasons, it's like a good play, but then it just becomes liberal
Political.
claptrap,
Nothing.
like cotton candy propaganda. It's just like, oh, isn't America amazing? Yeah, in some ways, but in other ways, y'all suck.
We have our
Anyway,
issues.
but y'all remember when they came up with those ads in 2016? It was after Trump won, and they were calling for faithless electors,
Yes.
like people in the electoral college to vote against the
Yes.
vote of their people, vote
Right.
for the right thing, despite, because don't you know the majority can be wrong and ignorant,
That's trying to overturn an election.
right? And this is part of our system. It's allowed. It's been
been
allowed
going
the
on
entire
since-
of our existence. Exactly, Sky. Exactly. So, I don't know. It just smacks of, well,
Eddie
post-persuasion
nailed it.
America.
It's selective enforcement.
It is, it's very
I wonder
frustrating.
how
But that's
Joe
all the way
Biden,
around
or
now.
Bill Clinton, or anybody else, any other Democrat, modern politician would do under the scrutiny
None of them
that
would.
Trump has faced.
None of them. None of them would last 5 minutes. For I think half of them, the smarter ones, would drop out just because they didn't want to face the BS.
Although I would love to see the Biden family investigated with the vigor that,
you
that
can't
Trump
even.
has been.
We can't even get that done legitimately.
No, that's a weaponized DOJ.
Right.
All these government bureaucracies are completely.
And as far as
Control.
voting, I'm still right there with. I don't think we had a fair election, and I don't think we've got another one in front of us.
That's
They've
why
done nothing to me to prove to me that all is well, besides more government BS.
Well, but
sad
I
state
mean,
of affairs.
y'all seem frustrated. Y'all seem angry. Y'all
Very.
seem to think that this government might be, and I'm not saying you do for a fact know this, but it might be illegitimate. If what the
Not just-
Constitution is, if that's the justification for our government.
Not just our current administration, but yes, our government in general. The more that we scratch the surface and just start looking down, we see where they write the laws, they go by a different set of laws, and you better not challenge them on
They're
that.
not poke your head up.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, at least some people are happy, though. It's not folks
Who dat?
on Trump country.
Where are
dat?
people happy?
Okay, how about this? Y'all know a show net called Rachel Maddow's show,
Mad cow.
whatever it's called. there.
That's not happy. That's
Um,
delusional.
Like
Psychosis.
she put out as she was interviewing Hillary Clinton, this news broke, and they reacted.
Fancy meeting you.
Oh,
here.
I
It's really
can't
nice to have you
believe
here.
this.
Yeah, this is not the circumstances in which I expected to be talking to you.
Nor me, Rachel. It's always good to talk to you, but honestly, I didn't think that it would be under these circumstances. Yet another set of indictments.
This is
Count the cackles. I've got two. So
Count the cankles.
Like
man.
she's even in her celebratory moment of her enemy is having the screws put to him. She sounds fake.
Oh, yeah. Well, Greg Budell ruined me a long time ago. Whenever she starts cackling, he mentions that whole Gallo bottle of wine that she's probably got in front of her. So that's all I can see is just an old, bitter woman with a gallon of wine drinking her misery away.
Now, but like even her saying, what is she saying there at the end of the clip? Here, let's play it again. But she's saying something like, I never thought I would be here in these circumstances with you.
She's been begging to get back on.
Well, she saw this coming a mile away. I had no clue this was going to happen, right? You're fake even, like...
Right.
Let's play it again.
something. Fancy meeting you.
Oh,
here.
I
It's really
can't
nice to have you
believe
here.
this.
Yeah, this is not the circumstances in which I expected to be talking to you.
Nor me, Rachel. It's always good to talk to you, but honestly, I didn't think that it would be under these circumstances. Yet another set of indictments.
This is some.
Well,
smug.
Trump might be a sore loser about 2020, but you know what? That lady, she lost to Trump in 2016.
And she took it like a champ.
Yeah, she was going to be the first woman president, and she lost.
Isn't there a stage light that's kind of loose that could drop on her while she's there?
Right.
No,
I've been
the worst thing
sandbag of
is
some
let
sort.
her live.
Hillary,
No,
you
it's
were...
misery to me. It is misery to me.
She is so unlikable, she lost to Trump.
Right.
Well,
She's so
I think-
unlikable, Bill Clinton won't have sex with her.
That's just gross. That's just what's wrong with you. Don't bring that up. That's just not good. How about this? Let's hit a break. But first, tell us about the Alabama Gazette, Sky.
I certainly will. The Alabama Gazette, your hometown conservative newspaper, published beautiful downtown Montgomery. The Alabama Gazette serves Central Alabama proper, and they are about to celebrate their 24th anniversary.
All right.
That is coming up October 1st. There will be a big to-do open house down at the Gazette's beautiful offices, and the public will be invited. They're going to have all kinds of fun and events to celebrate the Gazette's 24th anniversary. Gazette has always been published under the banner of God, family, and country, and they are most worthy of your support. Advertising space in the Gazette, especially for the big October 1st issue, is available. Advertise with someone that shares your views. God, family, country, pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. That's the Alabama Gazette. And advertising in the Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. Give them a call, 356-6700. The Alabama Gazette, your hometown conservative newspaper.
Appreciate that, Sky. And also this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, it's in the name. They're here to help you men out. They helped you out, right, Eddie?
Well, they sure did, man. I believe it was the lipo injections I was getting from them. Helped me out quite a bit. Helped my sleeping pattern much better. Energy level, I didn't crash at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I went in there to get my testosterone checked because I'm a man of a certain age, and that's what we have to do. And dang near broke the equipment. They said I was cooking.
Oh, wow. You got high tea,
Worth
son.
the trip right there.
Yeah. But those folks are great, man.
Here, open this pickle jar for me.
Yeah. Every time I've gone in there, they treat me with professionalism. Just great people there, man. I really enjoy them.
Well, and if you do go in and your story's the opposite of Eddie's, where, he's blowing and going. He's doing it to it like lighter fluid over there. He's cooking. If they go, sir, are you dead? Or if they look at you like, you feel all right, man? It probably means you need some testosterone therapy. And the good news is they have those treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health. Low T treatments that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, and you might even notice an increased libido.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
There's a lot right with that, in fact. So check them out today. It's only $99 in about an hour, and you can know your testosterone numbers. Make an appointment at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and be sure to tell them, well, you heard about them here on News and Views. In the afternoon, more news and views, well, after this.
not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hey, everybody, it's Jay Scott with Blue Water Broadcasting. Once again, coming to you from Mr. Gus's on the Atlanta Highway in care of Ernest Financial and Blue Water Broadcasting. It's our Operation Help and Hope. We're taking donations for first-time cancer patients, new cancer patients who are going through chemo. It's the Chemo Comfort Care Bags that are given to them, and in these are all kinds of things that patients who are going through chemo and cancer have to deal with. So we got fuzzy socks, Boost nutritional drinks, blankets, digital thermometers, hard candy, pill boxes, travel-sized tissues, small hand sanitizers, lip balm, puzzle books, and pens as well. All these need to be new in packaging, by the way, in order for them to then be given out to new cancer patients. So keep that in mind, and also keep in mind that it's the last week of Operation Help and Hope. You've got through Friday to make your donations. Now, if you can come by today, right now, and drop these off at Mr. Gus's, that is great. If not, feel free to do so later on today at any of our sponsored locations, or later on this week if you would like to as well. We're here until 12:30 at Mr. Gus's on the Atlanta Highway with Ernest Financial and Blue Water Broadcasting for Operation Help and Hope.
Hey, we're talking to Tammy. Tammy, why does everybody loves Mama's Produce?
Goodness, there's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's Produce. We got ice cream. Man, have we got some fresh peas. We've got fresh limas. We've got watermelons, tomatoes. There's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama. We're at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville. It's about a half a mile south of the Midtown McDonald's, attached to Prattville Farm Center and right across from Pig Enterprise. Yep, we close at 5:30 Monday through Friday and Saturday at 2. Everybody loves Mama's.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster. Hey man, what's happening? Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct? Yeah, sometimes. Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money? Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man. Your money man? With the money plan. I see. So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know? I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest. 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And he has a website at retirewithernest.com. Hey, you're on top of it today, man. I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting. Yes, I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air. Why were you taken off the air? Too much foul language, man. Oh my, I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Here's what those savings sound like in dollar bills. Here's what it sounds like in quarters. And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency, a thing I totally understand. 1010, I am money, cha-ching, beep boop, $sign.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary, underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Nah, that bada bing at the beginning of this reminds me of the room service bell.
The bada bing?
At the beginning of your little thing there, da 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 ding. Like the room service bell.
I thought you were going back to the judge's comments about the RICO.
Well, I'm glad you guys talked about that. Is that okay? The judge could say that?
Yeah, I say Pollock all the time.
Right, but when I called you Pollock, I got a little pushback.
Right, he called him. He is Italian, so he can say this.
So, like, I could say I'm redneck, and that's
qualified.
Right.
Okay.
You can call yourself a cracker.
Right.
Right.
But if anybody else, I'm supposed to be a little bit bothered, right?
Mm.
I'll work on that. It doesn't
Right.
really bother me, but I'll work on it.
Right. Anyway, let's get some more legal analysis here. How about we go to Cash Patel?
Oh.
And Cash Patel had
That's what Cash Money doing.
He had a little bit to say here about the latest indictment of Trump. Let's listen in. Apparently, this is just straight fire.
Legality. As a former federal prosecutor and public defender who's defended cases involving 10 and 20 defendants, there's this thing called the blockbuster ruling. If one defendant is using a statement against another defendant in the charged indictment, that case has to be split and tried separately. All 19 can go separately, or there can be a combination of the two. Either way, there is no way under the constitutional rigors of due process to get this to trial in 6 months. But more importantly, the Fulton County DA just made a representation to the world. She just lied to the universe. As the district attorney, your name, your stamp is on every single indictment. You do not have loose copies of indictments floating around and blame the clerical system and the judicial officer in the clerk's office for a mishap. She just said she has no idea how that indictment was presented and posted online. She just lied to the world. That should tell you everything you need to know about her weaponized system of justice, her personal animosity towards Donald Trump, and the destruction of due process and the continued election rigging that goes on at the state level. Now it centers around Atlanta, Georgia, and this Fulton County DA. Congress must investigate and subpoena her immediately for lying to the world about how this judicial process unfolded and that phony indictment that was put up. It was done with her approval, through her hands, and through all of her assistant district attorneys. She's responsible. She just lied to the world.
Wow.
Okay.
I would agree. Cash is not playing.
No, he's not.
He didn't like this one bit. I don't like it one bit.
I don't either.
I mean, I'm not surprised by it because, yes, I believe our government is, in fact, that corrupt.
Yes.
And something about Donald John Trump really just makes them double down on their corruption. Maybe it's that he actually is serious when he says things like, I'm going to take out the deep state.
Well, it's a total threat to him. You know that.
Right.
And they can't control him. I mean,
seriously, folks, I don't know how many times I got to repeat this. I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I didn't trust him. I sure as hell didn't trust Hillary Clinton, but I didn't trust him. And then from before he's even sworn in, I started to notice how the unelected administrative state started to go after him. How some of the most top secret programs and cables were being leaked to the press. Whereas other people like Julian Assange and, Edward Snowden, their life is done if they leak something. Like, I just saw the way this was not done in even-handed manner. All presidents apparently are not equal. Some presidents, actually, when they say do something, the administrative state goes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You get it, sir. Your job is not to command us around, but your job is to, make a decision when all the process we've built up through the bureaucracy just comes up with a blank answer. Then you got to be the oracle that gives us, what new process should we follow, Mr. President? But if you're actually like Trump is like, you're fired. I'm not going to do that. Why would I be stupid? What is it? And let's release the JFK files. I don't care, Mike Pompeo, if y'all don't know him, he was my Secretary of State and CIA director.
All right.
No, but there's a big difference when you see a guy who actually is used to being able to run an organization like it's his to command. The federal government doesn't act too kindly towards that. In a second, I, by the day, become happier and happier with my choice, my early choice, in fact, to vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the Democratic primary on Super Tuesday. Did y'all see any of the sit-down interview with RFK Jr. and Tucker Carlson?
I did not.
Last night. Well, we've got clips from that, and one that's remarkable. Well, there's one where RFK has been visiting the border. He's come out with a new documentary on the border, and it is detailed. It is eye-opening.
Have they released some clips? Because I think I saw some clips. Okay, so I did see some clips of that.
Yeah, it's not like poor folks from southern Mexico. That's not
that's
what's
the
going
clips
on.
I saw, right.
This is like an international market like one guy that interviewed was from Senegal, and he described his journey working hand in hand with the cartels. The cartels run our border policy, not the United States government. And RFK Jr. is the one laying all that down. But RFK Jr. gets into, he's asked by Tucker, talk about your uncle and Jack Kennedy's assassination and all this stuff. And at one point, RFK says, well, Mike Pompeo told me, and we'll play the clip, but Mike Pompeo told me at dinner last week, and he told me that the folks at the upper echelons of that organization do not believe in democracy whatsoever, or democratic
Does that surprise you?
institution. No, I think this is how the actual government works.
Right.
They've hacked our democracy. You think, like, the Kraken would be a hell of a hack. They've already hacked our democracy. And the damnedest thing is part of the hack is convincing you that you consented to it. And it was your idea in the first place.
Not mine.
272-9228.
I want to go back to like Iraq where we're stamping with the ink and we all walk away with a purple thumb.
Yeah.
Remember that worked. We set that election up for them. Didn't hear anybody complaining about, election fraud or anything else. Let's break it back down to the basics.
So in a second, we'll get to that RFK Jr. Tucker Carlson interview. First, who we got on here? Don't worry about it. Let's just do it on the fly. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey. How are you?
Hey, David. How you doing?
Doing great. It has reached a point. I used to call our FBI, ATF, and DOJ the Stasi because of basically they're nothing more than a puppet for the Democrat Party and for the federal government. They're basically the enforcement arm of the Democrat Party, to basically keep under thumb anybody who stands in the way of the unelected or the Democrat Party and their agenda for our country. But after some of the things that have happened in the past few months with ATF and FBI kicking down people's doors and basically murdering people in their home for saying or doing something that they didn't approve of, I basically now call them the Einsatzgruppen. They're basically the death squad of the Democrat Party and the unelected.
Yeah, if folks thought it was over the top when I said that they killed the Constitution a long time ago and they've been wearing it as a skin suit like Hannibal Lecter ever since. But I think that's actually a perfect description of what's going on here.
There was in World War II, there was a 17-year-old Yugoslavian girl, she was actually Bosnian, who was part of a partisan group who was trying to help 150 women and children out of German-occupied territory. She was captured, imprisoned, and tortured for 3 days by the SS. And they basically then took her outside, threw a rope over a tree branch, had her stand on a wooden box, and the SS officer told her, he said, I'll give you one last chance to turn in the people in your group. And she said, you'll know them when they come to avenge me and kill every one of you evil people until you no longer exist. It's getting to that point in America to where you hate to say it, but just simple elections aren't going to get things done anymore, I don't think, because it's turned the corner to where the government is so corrupt and so evil that, I think the only way it's ever going to change is basically through an armed insurrection where the common people stand up and say no more.
Well, I don't see it that way. I kind of think that's what they're counting on.
So let's give them what they want.
Tough words, but that's what I feel right now.
Oh, no, I hear where you're coming from, and I hear your feelings. I'm just having thought this through for a while. I think that's exactly what they would want. Don't compete at the government.
Oh, they would. They'd love that. They'd give them, just like January 6th, and give them a license, to do more of what they want to do. So, but anyway, my 2 cents. Thanks, guys.
See you, David.
And David's usually pretty level-headed. So hearing that coming from him, I get the feeling,
man. I'm telling you, the common man, the regular guy, got nothing anymore. You are nothing but a number, and you're only as good as the last tax that we took from your pocket.
And that's why I'm happy to see, say, somebody like an RFK jumping up and trying to run as a Democrat. And he said the number one goal of his campaign is to get back to a Democratic Party that is about the common man.
Yeah, I remember when the Democratic Party was for the working people.
Right. And that's his dad's party. That was his uncle's party. That was the Democrats for a while, and you don't see that quite as much, let's just say. It all started to change around that Occupy Wall Street thing, Tea Party time, where it looked like the left and right might come together, take on the big banks and corrupt corporate crony system. No. Don't you understand? You're men. You're women. Isn't time up, ladies, for these predators coming after you? You gotta fight back. Wait. You're white. You're black. Don't you remember the wounds and the original sin of this country? You can't work together to fight the greedy fat cats. You have to loathe one another. And then the way you channel that is by voting for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's when it started to change. But maybe the Democratic Party can get back to being the working class party. And by the way, I don't think you have to be a working class party by claiming we'll take care of you in every way. You don't have to work.
No, not that's not the Democratic Party.
I don't think that's actually going to solve a problem either.
That's
like
the
full-on
LBJ.
socialism.
That seems to be their motto, and it seems to be working right now.
Well, it works for their power. It doesn't really work at helping people.
No, but as long as the suckers keep falling for it, it's all that matters.
Keep them dumb, keep them in debt,
Right.
keep them voting Democrat. That's
So in a second, we'll get to some of this RFK Jr. interview. It's just still making me smile, too, that folks are like, I mean, isn't Tucker Carlson becoming an old thing? Isn't he a little old hat? I don't know, I'm sounding like Lorne Michaels or Dr. Evil there, talking about Tucker Carlson, but that's who I imagine is running Fox now. Oh, we're going to attack Tucker, call him racist, and the...
You got to do the finger.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
$1 billion.
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a second. But first, this part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They can help you if you're in an emergency bind. Maybe it's a burst pipe inside or outside your home. Well, that can create a huge mess. Huge mess. And a lot more damage than just extra water flowing.
Right.
You got to stop it immediately. Time is of the essence. Cole Plumbing understands that. So when you call them up at 279-8919, that's 279-8919, they can get out there and they can solve that problem with precision and expertise with minimal discomfort to you and your home. That means they're not going to have to dig out a huge hole in your yard or tear out a bunch of drywall inside the house. No, with precision and expertise, they can solve that problem. And even if it's not an emergency, maybe you want to upgrade.
Yeah.
Tankless water heater systems
That's
are
a really
great.
good deal. Or say you're going to build an outdoor kitchen.
So
You need water lines ran,
yeah.
we need gas lines ran, we need
Right.
drain lines ran. These are the guys you want to call.
Right. Or maybe it's a simple problem like a clogged drain, or maybe your sump pump in the basement is broken. Well, Cole Plumbing can help you with all sorts of things like that, folks. Even like gas line leaks, they do it all. So check them out today. Again, you can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
Well said, Sky. We'll be right back, folks, after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroest event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, zero payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course, because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 doc fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by JB Windows and Siding. Call Jones Brothers. You'll be glad you did.
JB Windows
everybody. Another very hot day today with dangerous heat indices, but get ready. There's better news ahead. Today's high temperature up to about 97. Heat index as high as 107. Scattered storms along a frontal system this afternoon, maybe a few on the strong side. Continuing into the evening hours before ending, low 70. Tomorrow, much lower humidity. Sunshine, not as hot, high 93. Upper 60s Wednesday night. Thursday, more sun, no storms, reasonable humidity, high 94. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. The weather's always changing. Hot as blazes 1 minute, raining cats and dogs the next. What doesn't change is the dependability of Kubota's L-Series compact tractors to handle it all. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Let's go right to the phones and talk to TS. Hey, TS.
Oh, my gosh. Hello?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for getting me on so quickly because I'm about to crank the truck and go run an errand. You know, I've been thinking about this, and I know you're going to say, Anil, Texas Sunshine, you're stupid. You know, the middle-class people have never, walked up, done some kind of walk up to the Capitol thing. Circled it and said, yeah, nah. It isn't going to help us, is it? But it might make some of us feel better.
I mean, there's a big Tea Party thing that Glenn Beck did.
That was pretty good.
There was a thing called Stop the Steal on January 6th.
Now, that one didn't go quite as...
Okay,
that the whole middle class go on strike.
Oh,
for one,
it's easy.
Dude,
everybody can do this.
Shut it down.
One stroke of a pen. You claim, you do a 1099. That is, and until everybody does that, I'm telling y'all, we're peeing in the ocean trying to turn it yellow.
Yeah.
Nothing else is going to happen.
We're just playing
You've
games.
got to go after the money, and that's how they get their money.
They don't care about
turn it yellow.
us except for our money. That's all they want is
Right.
our money.
So how do we hold our money back? How do we hold our money back? You
I
change
think
that to a
we should
1099.
boycott, I think we should boycott, gas Monday, Wednesday, Friday or something, but everybody's got to be in it, not
That's
just
just
a
it.
few of us.
We can't even get a percentage.
No, I don't. Here's what we do.
Much less.
Actually, I think I'm going to go back on what I said. Y'all ever seen a movie called The Mouse That Roared?
I remember that.
Peter Sellers?
Yes.
We need to declare war on the United States government and then very quickly surrender so we get, in terms of that are better.
Yeah. I'm a migrant too. Yeah.
You guys, we never stand up for
Because we're too
what's
busy working.
happening to us. And I am a retired educator, and my parents would be so upset that all the sped kids were getting all this and all their kids were suffering. And I'm like, you guys don't stand up. And I'm tired. I think all of the middle class needs to stand up, and they'll be like, oh. You know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no gas. Tuesday, Thursday, no groceries or something.
Wait, make that sound for me again.
Which one?
The mouse that roared. I like it. I'm intimidated.
Well, I appreciate the
Imagine
idea.
if we all did that.
And the call. No, something's
How
going to
loud
give.
that
But let's just let this election cycle play out. I've got a feeling there are more
Okay.
surprises coming our way. Seriously, folks, I don't buy that we know how the table is going to be set for 2024 yet. Not by any means. And I don't just mean like candidates and people in these political races. Who the hell knows what happens in this world? Like, it is a weird time. Do not underestimate it.
I'm just tired of us getting the grief, the open the pocketbook and let me give you more when I don't have any. That's my issue.
Mine too.
Well, I appreciate the call, TS. You ain't
I
alone.
love you guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
272-9228. You got to get out of here, Sky?
Yes. Have an appointment, people to do and things to be.
All right. Well, I'm good for you. Nobody likes a braggart. We'll be
Go get him,
right back.
Tiger.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Former President Trump, one of 19 people facing criminal charges in Georgia over efforts to overturn his 2020 election loss in the state. The former president's fourth indictment, widely expected. Prosecutors are using a statute normally associated with mobsters to accuse Trump, lawyers, and other aides of a criminal enterprise to keep him in power. President Biden stopping in the battleground state of Wisconsin to discuss how economic policies he calls Bidenomics are boosting the economy. The trip is timed one day before the first anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act, a major economic bill Biden signed into law. Critics of the legislation say provisions of that law could end up increasing inflation. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 266 points, the Nasdaq 93 points in the red. This is SRN News.
Attention, your money is now controlled by the U.S. government.
Picture a world where your every purchase is monitored, tracked, and controlled by those in power to suppress the freedoms of those they see fit. Hi, my name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. And right now, I become very focused on the impending rollout of the central bank digital currency. This is not a work of fiction. It's a terrifying reality looming on the horizon. But there is a bit of good news. I've partnered with Advantage Gold to offer you a solution. They are specialists in converting your traditional assets, like those inside an IRA or 401k, into tangible assets such as physical gold and silver. Don't allow your money to be controlled. Claim your free gold protection kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor.
Call 800-900-8000.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Another very hot day today with dangerous heat indices, but get ready. There's better news ahead. Today's high temperature up to about 97. Heat index as high as 107. Scattered storms along a frontal system this afternoon, maybe a few on the strong side. Continuing into the evening hours before ending, low 70. Tomorrow, much lower humidity. Sunshine, not as hot, high 93. Upper 60s Wednesday night. Thursday, more sun, no storms, reasonable humidity, high 94. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
The congressional map issue here in Alabama is now under consideration by a 3-judge panel. On Monday, the final arguments were delivered in the Allen versus Milligan redistricting case. The three judges will either approve what the state legislators came up with when it comes to redrawing the map, or they'll move the case to a special master who will then begin redrawing the districts according to the judge's ruling that 2 majority-minority districts should be created within the state due to the population of black and minority voters in Alabama. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Ryan Dawson here, CEO of 1819 News. I'm also the host of 1819 News, the podcast, and we'd love for you to join us by listening to our weekly show on all the top podcast apps, both in audio and video format. At 1819 News, the podcast, we are in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama. Every week, we're having important conversations with guests from across this great state, all with the goal of equipping Alabamians to be in pursuit of a free and flourishing Alabama with us. New episodes are released weekly. I hope you'll join us.
A high school principal in the Mobile County school system resigns suddenly after being placed on administrative leave. Gerald Cunningham is accused of mismanagement of school funds while working at Vigor High School. Since the move by the school administration to place him on leave, Cunningham has since offered his resignation. The school administration revealed to WKRG News that a financial audit was first started into the school funds at the start of this year. A Huntsville police officer is recognized for his life-saving action at a shooting that occurred this past February. Officer Taylor Grenier arrived at a hotel where the shooting took place and addressed the wounds of a victim, helping that victim survive the shooting. Grenier was given the life-saving medal by Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle and Huntsville Police Chief Kirk Giles. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
We've all been caught up in the little chores that pile up every day. The dishes in the sink, the trash that needs taking out, the pesky check engine light. A little change can go a long way when you escape every day at Wing Creek Casino and on the Casinoverse app.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
Hey everybody, it's Jay Scott here at Worth Cleaners on Brown Springs Road for Operation Help and Hope. It's the final week here that we're doing this, so we need you to donate what you can. You've got today, tomorrow, well, you've got through Friday to make your donations. Now, you don't have to come out here right now while I'm here. If you can, that's great. I'd love to meet you. But if you can't, that's fine. You can drop off anytime during regular business hours, not only here, but at the other location of Worth Cleaners or any of our other sponsor locations, or just at the radio station if you'd like to do that. Whatever works for you is going to work for these patients who are receiving these items. Things like fuzzy socks, Boost nutritional drinks, blankets, small hand sanitizers, travel-sized tissues, lip balm, puzzle books, pens, things like that go into these chemo comfort care bags for new cancer patients. It's all helping out the Cancer Wellness Foundation of Central Alabama, serving cancer patients here in the River region. Very familiar with it myself. And likely you may be as well. 1 in 3 people get diagnosed with cancer, and that likely means if you're not diagnosed, you know personally somebody that is, was, has been diagnosed, that sort of thing. So help out where you can. It goes a long way for these little bitty items that we're talking about. It's the final week for Operation Help and Hope. Come by and see us, Worth Cleaners, Brown Springs Road. Jay Scott for Blue Water Broadcasting.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. I got some lab work and a urologist prescribed me some meds. Wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader's still in the house.
How you doing, Joey?
Good. Doing quite well, and this should be fun. We have Jack Bushman with Buckmasters, and the Buckmasters Expo is upon us, folks. Jack, how you doing today?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Good to see you, sir. So let's tell folks about this expo coming up.
Well, I think it's number 28. That's how many years we've been doing it. So I told somebody I helped Noah get off the boat and separate the animals. We've been doing it so long, but no, we're excited. And, you know, it's always fun to bring folks from all over the country down to see our great state and county and city. And we've got some new things this year, and it's all about, you know, bringing the outdoorsmen together and all these exhibitors, and we've sold out. So there's no more space in the convention center.
Wow.
Everybody's got an outdoor product there, and that's the cool thing about the show. These exhibitors are kind of on a circuit, and we're their last show on their circuit.
Is that right?
And they don't want to take nothing home.
So you're saying, is what I think you're saying is right. They don't want to count inventory. They want to pack it up. They would rather someone buy it here.
Discount prices.
Deals are happening. Yeah.
It's Deal City.
Yeah.
At the Buckmasters. And that's the cool thing is that we've had so much state and county and local support. We're able to let everybody in with a canned good. And a lot of folks will bring more than one can.
I bet.
And this goes to Friendship Mission Ministries. Last year we fed close to 150,000 meals.
That is amazing.
Off the people bringing the stuff. And if they forget to bring a can, it's just $1.
Well, I was about to ask, how many folks do you expect? How many folks usually show up to this?
We'll do anywhere from 15 to 20,000 with the Bulls event combined and stuff.
Wow.
It's a major tourism event here for the city and the state and the county for sure.
So you said there are new things this year. What are some of these new things?
Well, we brought the Bulls in last year.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny because I went to see the mayor. I said, I want to bring Bulls to Montgomery. and when he looked at me, it was kind of like, I should have said bull riding. You know what I'm saying? He was thinking we're going to let the Bulls go through the streets like we, you know, do in Spain and stuff. I said, no, professional bull riding. In downtown Montgomery, everybody thought it was crazy. Well, the thing is, Jerry Bird and these guys, they do what's called Bulls on the Beach at the Floribama.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it each year in September. And we were working on doing a promotion down there called Buckmasters at the beach with bulls in the beach.
Okay.
But there's an ordinance down there, you can't have a stage on the beach for X amount of days due to the turtles nesting or something. So I just asked Jerry, I said, have you ever thought about taking this on the road? He said, well, no, but I'll sure look at it. I said, well, come on up to Montgomery, look at our convention center. We got a parking lot, 2 parking lots right across the street. Measure it and tell me if it'll work. He came up, had lunch, said, we can make that work.
All right.
So we did it last year, and I was going, oh, Lord, will anybody show up? I mean, you know, I'm nervous. It was packed every night.
Incredibly successful.
Yes. So this year, what we've done new, we're going to have local entertainment bands playing. We're going to open the gates about 2 hours before the Bulls.
Okay.
And then the Bulls won't go till after the expo doors close.
All right.
And we got food out there. We didn't have foods, but we got food, drinks, beverages, live entertainment. And the cool thing about the bands is they're going to play, and then they're going to stop before the Bulls. And when the Bulls are over, they're going to play another hour.
Oh, good deal.
So people can stay down and enjoy the city and have fun down there.
Excellent.
And again, this is free admission with a can of food.
Yes.
Or if you don't bring food, it's
$1.
That's for the expo. The Bulls is open to the public.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Well, and where will this be exactly?
This
what's
is the
located?
Montgomery Convention Center at the Renaissance.
Okay,
Center.
I was just there.
And the parking lot right across from the train station, right there on Commerce.
Yeah.
And it's right where the trolley car is.
Yeah.
Okay, right there. It's right in that. I just left 40 tons of dirt the fine folks at the city brought in.
Nice.
I got it bulldozed. Now the gates come up, then the lights come up, then the Bulls come in. We're bringing the Bulls in Friday, and there's some bad looking dudes.
I bet there are, man.
There were 6 PBR Bulls there last year, I mean, these are athletes.
Yeah.
And basically, these are minor league bull riders. But some of them are pretty good that will make it to the PBR.
Well, these guys are hungry, though. They're trying to make it.
Yeah, and one guy's got about $50,000 in earnings, so he will make it.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's what they're competing for, is to be able to take it to the next step. And we had 4 or 5 last year that rode the bulls, but I can tell you, 8 seconds doesn't sound very long.
Right.
But when you're on the back of a bull, 8 seconds sounds like 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, this is a perfect time, like a bunch of sissies. I think
I
here's
have
your
never
opportunity to get on one and prove it.
Why we have a guest here? Why are you lying? I will whoop your ass right in front of him. I don't care. I respect the bull rider. Like,
Now
seriously,
there's somebody in here, suddenly you respect them.
No, these guys are crazy and crazy talented.
I tell you what, you can look in their eyes. I mean, it's serious.
Oh, it takes a different kind of person to hop on the back of a bull now.
And a lot of little guys. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, there's not tall guys. And
No,
stuff. There's
no,
a
they know
few of
better.
them, but most of them are the little guys that have got great balance. And that, like I said, most of them second and a half. Man. But when they started getting that 6 seconds, people crowd getting into it.
Yeah.
When they make that 8 seconds, everybody goes crazy.
Joey, you can do second and a half.
Just shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Last year, because I always do pranks on the TV shows and stuff. You know, I teased the crowd. Jerry, he said I was a professional bull rider in college. They're gonna bring me out of retirement. Okay? So what I did is I got a stunt rider who dressed just like me,
There you go.
tall like me, and people have had a few beverage cocktails out there, and they introduced me coming out of the Buckmasters, and everybody's going, he's gonna ride. He's gonna ride. So I told Joey, I said, when you get through riding, which he was a good rider, he's gonna ride 8 seconds. I said, you just limp into the Buckmaster
There you go.
stall. I'll come out with you. And I had all my stuff on. And for about 30 seconds, the folks that had a few cocktails thought I actually rode the bull. And I had to give up. I gave up the ghost and told them no, but I did get on the bull. And that scared me because I'm tall. I had to put my legs down.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
and shoot. That bull could jump and do whatever.
No, you
break
can still
my
move
leg.
around that chute.
So they said, stand right in his back and then slide your feet down. And I stood in the middle of his back. My feet went straight out. I didn't want to bring them straight down. I told my cameraman, I looked at him, I said, you get that shot, I'm getting out of here. But so when people said, you ride that bull? I said, I got on that bull.
There you go.
So the
that's half
bulls
the battle.
are Friday and Saturday night?
That's Friday and Saturday nights. So what we'll do is the Buckmaster show opens Friday at 3 and goes to 8. We'll open the gates at 6:30 for the bulls.
Okay.
We'll have live entertainment. Then the bulls will start at 8 o'clock when the doors of Buckmasters.
Okay.
And then Saturday, our show is 9 to 7 on Saturday, the expo. We're going to open the gates at 5:30 for entertainment and food, and the
Okay.
bulls will go at 7. And then
Okay.
Sunday, the gates are 10 to 5 at Buckmaster.
All right.
Well, this should be a big event. I think y'all are going to beat the Trump event, that whole GOP dinner. We were just down in
Yeah.
those parts, so this is going to be a big
There's
thing
a
this
lot of
weekend.
folks that come, and they come from all over the country. This is a vacation to them. And
Oh, I
stuff,
bet.
so.
Now, one of the other things too is the dock dogs. Now that's
Dock dogs.
that's got my attention because I watch it on ESPN all the time.
Yeah.
The dogs doing the long jump. But you say there's even something different now.
Well, see what it is. I mean, people say, "What is dock dogs?" I said, "It's broad jumping and high jumping for dogs."
Right.
That's the best way I can describe it. But it's in water. And then you can even bring your own dog out there and let
love
them
that.
try. They have a little session where you can try to see if your dog will jump. Somebody brought a weenie dog out there last year. I said, "Do you have a tape measure for that one?" I said, "You better be able to get it off the bottom."
You're right.
But I mean, the kids love it, and you know, the stands are covered, so people can sit out there, and they're going pretty much during the day, and you know, they'll have a champion Sunday that'll lead,
Excellent. Oh, wow.
lead to one of their regionals.
Awesome.
And stuff. So, and then we got a lot of social media influencers going to be here. Some big names. Robert Arrington and his wife Sarah. That's deer meat for dinner.
Yep.
And then we've got Tim Van Dorn, who is the Bama Grill Masters, is going to be here. We got the Urban Hunters Seek One. Who else we got?
Who's Allie from
Allie
Alabama?
from Alabama is a TikTok star.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Allie
her.
works for us
Yeah.
and does some stuff with Buckmasters. She'll
Awesome.
be there. She can catch a catfish all day long.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of social media folks. So, you know, last year we had old Stale Cracker. He came, and he was a big hit. We had a lot of fun with him. But, you know, we just try to bring in new stuff. But
Yeah.
the bottom line, and we have the 4-H archery competition and collegiate top bow world championship, so people can come in and watch the archery
A lot
tournament.
going on down there.
So you just got something to come in with. The balloon man is the guy that works the hardest. These kids come in and he makes every animal. He'll make 10,000 animals over the weekend.
Wow.
Oh, Greg Taunton, he's the best. But these kids know if the balloon man's there, they're going. He's at every birthday party in town. And the balloon man will be there.
So folks are out there listening and saying, this is going to be a good time. I got to go. This starts Friday at 3, the convention does.
Yep.
Right? The actual expo does.
3 to 8 on Friday.
Okay.
9 to 7 on Saturday. 10 to 5 on Sunday. Canned good for $1. We're going to feed a lot of needy folks. But
Definitely.
the cool thing is Mama comes, Grandmama comes. If you want to buy a Christmas present or a birthday present for the outdoors.
Yeah. So say you got
It's
300
right here,
booths there.
right here at Buckman.
At great prices,
Yeah.
like we said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
right.
I mean, they're giving stuff away.
Deals are aplenty.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, it's great seeing you. Great. This flew by. We've
Yeah,
been
man.
talking a little while here. I appreciate your time,
Well,
sir.
we appreciate y'all, and hopefully y'all come out. And
Oh, definitely.
bring your dog. Let me see. Don't bring a weenie dog. Just bring a dog.
No, could Roxy handle that?
Roxy can handle it. And we thought she would jump off the dock. She doesn't. We live on the lake. We try to get her to do that. No. Just doesn't do it.
And like I said, we're real blessed. Got a lot of great sponsors. Buffalo
definitely.
Rock with Mountain Dew, the presenting sponsor. They're making a lot of this happen. A lot of local and national sponsors. So
Well, folks, y'all get downtown this weekend. It should be a fun time.
it should be. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you, Jack. More news and views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
During Prattville Carpet's summer sale, you can get Mohawk waterproof flooring, regularly priced at $11 per foot installed, right now priced at $7 per foot installed. That's huge summer savings. And get interest-free financing for up to 12 months with approved credit. Call 285-8117 or visit PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Hey, we're talking to Tammy. Tammy, why does everybody loves Mama's Produce?
Goodness, there's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's Produce. We got ice cream. Man, have we got some fresh peas. We've got fresh limas. We've got watermelons, tomatoes. There's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's.
And Tammy, I understand you got some fantastic watermelons.
Actually, right now I've got in some yellow meat, some sugar babies, some seedless, and I've got some jubilees that just came in.
And of course, Tammy, you keep everybody up to date on your Facebook page.
We try to stay engaged on Facebook, and if I don't answer you on Facebook or Messenger, I'll sit down at the end of the day and go through them.
Tammy, that sounds good. Now tell us where you are.
We're at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville. It's about a half a mile south of the Midtown McDonald's, attached to Prattville Farm Center and right across from Pig Enterprise. Yep, we close at 5:30 Monday through Friday and Saturday at 2.
Everybody loves Mama's.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a famous broadcaster.
Hey man, what's happening?
Now, I understand you radio people move a lot, is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, how does this affect your taking care of your retirement money?
Oh man, I don't give that a second thought because my buddy David Ernest, he's my money man.
Your money man?
With the money plan.
I see.
So no matter where I go up and down the dial, David has my back, you know?
I'll bet you know some phone numbers our listeners could call to talk with David Ernest.
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
And he has a website at retirewithernest.com.
Hey, you're on top of it today, man.
I also understand that you hold some sort of a record in broadcasting.
Yes. I was the first person to put together a show with myself, a duck, a chicken, and a goose. But it didn't last long. We got taken off the air.
Why were you taken off the air?
Too much foul language, man.
Oh, my.
So I wasn't crazy about that one myself.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting?
Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. Great seeing Jackie Bushman there.
That is
man.
great. Great guy.
And we were just saying, we could have done hours of shows with that
No
guy.
doubt.
Y'all get down to the expo, Buckmasters Expo this weekend. Should be a fun, real time. And we also, again, folks, have an election coming up here in Montgomery.
Sure do.
I
Right around the
guess,
corner.
a week from today.
Oh, yeah.
And, excuse me, joining us now, yeah, that's just rude on my part, burping in the middle of an interview.
Oh, you met Joey?
I've hung out with Greg Budell too long. We have Chris Turner. He's a candidate to, well, be a city councilman. He's running in District 7. Chris, how you doing today?
Doing very well. I mentioned as I walked in, you didn't tell me I had to follow Jackie Bushman, who is a Montgomery institution. He's one of those things that's right about Montgomery.
Oh, no doubt.
We're lucky to have him.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
And so how's the campaign going?
Very well received. You know, I've been going at it since January. We've been out working the neighborhoods. I can tell you when it's going to start raining at this point. It seems like about 6:30 every night it's going to cloud up and start storming, and we look for the closest shelter we can find. But you know, this campaign like this is all retail. You're not going to get any more retail than a city council campaign.
Is there anybody you've met along the way, like a certain character or person that really sticks in the mind?
There are always people that are going to have questions that have nothing to do with city council. You know, it's national questions, things like that. And I'm all about, you know, paving your streets. I'm all about public safety. I'm all about short-term rental reform. I'll talk to you about that all day long, but I can't really break down the country's relationship with Kazakhstan very well.
I see.
Wait, somebody wanted you to break
You're
down our...
lacking the little foreign policy action?
It's just in that area, you know. And I think maybe Montgomery needs to establish an ambassador to Kazakhstan or something.
I
like
watched
that.
this movie Borat last night. Tell me about this,
That's right.
councilman.
Who is this? Is this real?
Right.
I've seen an F1 race from Kazakhstan, I think.
So, in terms of the issues that you went into this campaign with, what are the ones that really you're getting back from folks that's resonating with people?
Everyone, and I said this earlier, everyone will talk about public safety, and we could talk about public safety the rest of the interview, the rest of the campaign. But people are also interested in the fact that the road that they live on, the street that they live on, has not been paved, has not been resurfaced since it was put down originally. We have throughout District 7, which is kind of the heart of Montgomery, we've got some of the oldest neighborhoods and some relatively new neighborhoods. But in Hillwood West, they haven't seen a paving truck come through since they laid down that neighborhood 50 years ago.
What do you think the reason is for that? Because I know for a fact the city has a plan for roads and a schedule and sort of priorities list, but
Yeah, how do you make the priority?
yeah, is there a way to sort of speed this up or put more money in the roads?
I think that we have to emphasize that we have to redouble our efforts. The city's working hard. The streets department is out there every day working hard. But they just need a little more help. They need other people. Maybe we need to break it down and contract it out
That's
or
my
something.
thought. Can we contract that out?
Absolutely.
occasionally?
Save a little city money and get the job done at the same time.
Well, and then, of course, as you said, public safety is on a lot of folks' minds. Like, just to go over it for folks who haven't heard, like, what do you think are some basic steps we could take to improve that?
The first thing is going to be is that we have to fill all of the positions that are open at the city right now. The first responder to any incident may not be a policeman. It may be a streets department worker. It may be a sanitation worker. It may be a fireman, firefighter. We've got to fill those positions. We've got to recruit, train, reward, and retain those individuals. Make sure that their service is honored. That's the first thing we can do. And it may take looking at what city county personnel is doing as far as recruiting. It may take looking at the pay scale, and it may be something as small as granting the city the ability to give an employee more than just a one-step merit increase after the end of their first year, maybe 2 steps or 3 steps. But, you know, they've got to feel valued. They've got to be equipped. We've got to make sure that they can get the job done.
Now, one issue that's come up from all sorts of different candidates running for different offices in this local cycle is Airbnb. Now, I thought this might be, it's already, I think, a huge issue like Lake Tahoe and like the big, tourist destinations. We're seeing it here in Montgomery. Do you think there is any necessary regulation, or has there been any problems with Airbnbs in the area?
Airbnbs in Montgomery, short-term rentals in Montgomery, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. I moved my mother, I should say that my family and my sister and I moved my mother out of our family home into McGee Estates about a year ago. And because we felt like it would be a safer community. And it is. It's a wonderful neighborhood. But 2 months after she got there, there was a shooting that resulted in a murder right behind her that took place in a short-term rental. So we've got to look at that. We've got to make sure that we've got inspectors going out there, that we're enforcing the zoning laws, and we've got to establish policies that address the short-term rentals.
Well, yeah, and this was a big part of you getting into the race, seeing that it was like one after another, these shootings. Like, it's not in the middle of nowhere the guys knew each other. It's creeping all over the city. All over the city.
We know it, we recognize it, and I tell people that Montgomery is not the only city that's having to deal with this. It's across the board. There are certain methods that we can employ. I'm all about looking at some other cities that are our size throughout the Southeast, and maybe putting to work the best practices that they've engaged. I mentioned early on that I support a network of closed circuit television cameras that are providing a direct feed to the Montgomery Police Department so that we can better allocate what resources we have. After the brawl on the riverfront, the first thing the police did was say, send us your videos. Well, if we had cameras down there, we'd already have videos, and we'd have a better picture, I think, of what exactly went on.
Now, generally speaking, with what happened last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I mean, what's your take on this riverfront brawl, as it's now known online? I would commend to your audience your article in 1819. I read it this morning, and I think that it was right on, spot on. We certainly have issues in Montgomery, but we're very good at working with each other to resolve these issues. And it's when some outside forces that may have some influence kind of step in, that's when the problems arise. We recognize that we've got them. We also have the tools in place to address those things. Yeah, and it's just, but isn't it it's a very serious issue, and I know you're running for office, but there's a side of this where the internet always wins, where it's just surreal to see Montgomery Riverfront become the global stage, essentially.
I was reading the Daily Mail, and there was Montgomery, Alabama, front page Daily Mail. I've seen the memes. You're right. It's sad, but there's a comedic value to some of this, and to be able to laugh at what is really a problem may be somewhat therapeutic. But we understand the root of it. We are more than capable of addressing it. There is nothing that can keep Montgomery from becoming that shining city on a hill. I think we've got everything in place. We just have to put it to work.
Well, I got to hit a quick break here. Can you stick around for another segment?
That'd be great.
Well, let's hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro Services, Ashley and her team are ready to help you with, an emergency you might have with those little critters getting inside. Could be a wasp nest. Could be a fire ant problem. You think, I got that. No, you don't. You did not take out that network of fire ants. Maybe if you're seeing more than, one cockroach is one cockroach. But if you're seeing them on a regular basis, you need to get Pest Pro Services out there. And of course, they can help you with termite problems, prevent termite problems in the first place. Or maybe you want to get your yard treated to get rid of those mosquitoes. It could be you invested in your backyard and you actually want to enjoy it without getting eaten up or having to spray grandma with off every time she wants to go outside. So Pest Pro Services can help you with all that. Why don't you just make them your everyday pest control company?
That's the best way to do this, Joey.
I think it is. So call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. You can also go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and her team there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. More News and Views with candidate for City Council, District 7, Chris Turner, on the other side of this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey everybody, it's Jay Scott again at Worth Cleaners now on Brown Springs Road for Operation Help and Hope with Blue Water Broadcasting, taking your donations for the Cancer Wellness Foundation of Central Alabama. It's the Chemo Comfort Care Bags that are given out to all new cancer patients. Within those care bags are all kinds of items for cancer patients who are having to go through chemo, and that's what we're looking for. New in packaging, things like fuzzy socks, lip balm, hard candy, pill boxes, travel-sized tissues, puzzle books, pens, Boost nutritional drinks, blankets, fuzzy socks, and more, things like that are going to help out. So these little things, you would be surprised how far they go for these cancer patients. And 1 in every 3 people are expected to be diagnosed with cancer. It's likely that if you are not diagnosed with cancer, you know someone that is. It has personally affected you in some way or another. So please help out if you can. We're going to be out here until 2 o'clock today at Worth Cleaners on Brown Spring Road. So come on by and drop off your donations. If you can't make it here, or if some of our other sponsor locations are better for you, please, by all means, drop them off there. If you can't make it here right now, you can come by during regular business hours and drop off your donations that way. Any way you can get them to us, we're going to get them to these patients who need them. Operation Help and Hope, it's the final week. We're at Worth Cleaners on Brown Springs Road with Blue Water Broadcasting.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroest event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, 0 payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course, because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery, online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 doc fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi everybody, another very hot day today with dangerous heat indices, but get ready, there's better news ahead. Today's high temperature up to about 97, heat index as high as 107. Scattered storms along a frontal system this afternoon, maybe a few on the strong side. Continuing into the evening hours before ending, low 70. Tomorrow, much lower humidity. Sunshine, not as hot, high 93. Upper 60s Wednesday night. Thursday, more sun, no storms, reasonable humidity, high 94. From the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie there at Dillon Rings. And of course, Josh Ryder, Leslie Ryder, they can help you with all your jewelry needs because Dillon Rings is a full-service jewelry shop. What do we mean by full service, Eddie? I mean,
Let
like
me go ahead
everything.
and tell you, Joey. You can bring your jewelry to them if you need it cleaned, if you need it resized,
Yeah.
if you've got something, you woke up in the middle of the night with hey, I want my diamond to be in this type of band now.
Right.
Not only that, you can talk to them and say, I don't have an idea. This is the jewelry I have. Can
Right.
you give me some ideas?
Right.
And they will, man. They draw them out. Look at Sky's ring. Sky had a custom-made ring.
Oh, yeah.
I believe Josh did that all by himself. You know, Sky just said, here's the jewelry, make something happen.
Yeah, the custom design is second to none.
Amazing.
But yeah, repairs, cleanings, even pearl stringing.
That's right.
They can do it all there at Dillon Rings. So you can always check out everything they have on offer at DillonRings.com. That's DillonRings.com. Of course, that's Dillon with a Y, DYLAN, DillonRings.com. Or give them a call at 215-3669. But the best way to work with Josh and Leslie Ryder is to stop by that showroom at 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of the Atlanta Highway. We'll tell you more about Josh and Leslie there at Dillon Rings a little bit later in the program. Again, in the studio with us, we have a candidate for Montgomery City Council District 7, Chris Turner. And, well, one issue that we hadn't gotten into today, at least, is education. And I keep asking folks running for city positions because, you know, I understand that it's a county system, but it always comes back to it all begins at home. Are we reaching kids early? Are we sticking with them, especially through those crucial middle school years? So what can the city do that, even though we don't run the education system, what can a city councilman do to help improve that situation?
Everything you just said, I think the city needs to put the school system in as good a position as the city can for the school system to succeed. In the past, the city has helped out with through Parks and Recreation with junior high and middle school football and athletics. We need to make sure that that's happening again. We need to make sure that the community centers are open and available. If we need to bring in groups of young people before or after school to make sure that they're getting that extra kick that they may need to succeed in school, the city needs to be ready, willing, and able to do that. I've gotten that question before, and I remind people that we have a county school system, and I'm not running for the school board, but you're as a graduate of Sidney Lanier High School, you're not going to find a bigger advocate for public schools and the Montgomery County public school system than me.
Now, next question, why is it there aren't more young folks like me in Montgomery? And I'm not that young anymore. I'll be 35 here in a month or two. But I've noticed that the young folks aren't sticking around in the city, even if they were maybe born and raised here. I guess you and I were born here, and we're still here, but you know what I'm talking about. How can we attract more young people to stay or come here?
I think several years ago they coined the term brain drain. They were sucking all of the smarts out of Montgomery, and they were going to places like Huntsville and Austin and Atlanta. I think Montgomery is becoming more of a hub for technology, and that might be an avenue to keep the young people around. I also think they need to have recreational outlets. They need to have things to do in Montgomery. Parks and Recreation does a good job, but we need to go in and be a little bit more proactive. I've talked about pickleball at the Pickle Mall, to take what's left of Montgomery Mall between the fire station and the high schools, demo it and make it into an interior, kind of an indoor pickleball mall. And that would not only provide another outlet, but would help reinvigorate that neighborhood.
That's true.
I like what is pickleball? You're not the first person to...
You don't know pickleball?
No, I kind of know it, but it's really growing. Like,
it's
big time,
huge, and I think that the pandemic had a lot to do with that.
That's when it really took off.
It's kind of life-size ping pong. You know, you play with a wiffle ball. You have a paddle. The court itself is about half the size of a tennis court. People like Drew Brees own professional pickleball teams. Drew and McEnroe just played a tournament in New Orleans, kind of showing off the sport and the league. It's gotten huge.
Yeah, and we do need more of those activities, whether it's for folks around my age who are still single, or especially folks with kids. You need those activities and things to do with the kids. You need those good schools at the same time, and yeah, I think that would be a good magnet for bringing people to the city or keeping them here. That said, how do you mentioned Montgomery's becoming more of a technology hub? What do you think of the latest investments that have been coming into the city and the future in terms of economic development?
I think that we are on target. We need to retain what we've got through the United States Air Force and their presence here at Maxwell and Gunner. Within the RSA building downtown, there is a huge computer hub. Montgomery needs to make sure that we've got broadband available to everyone. The camera system that I mentioned earlier would also incorporate broadband, would provide broadband to areas that currently don't have it. So there are lots of things that the city can do from an advocacy point of view to make sure that we are receptive to any investment in technology that's available in Montgomery.
Well, and to me, it all comes back public safety and tamping down on crime, good, sound, they're running efficiently city services, helping to supplement, the other government programs around us, from county systems of the state to the federal bases. And, generally, to me, it's more communication at a certain... One thing I've heard with city government is there's a lack of communication, whether it's people within it working together or communicating with the general public. What can be done to improve that sort of thing?
I think that there's a segment of the population that is engaged right now that's going to show up at the city council meetings. We need to incorporate more people than just that. If we have to take city council meetings out into the community, if we have to go to one of the new community centers, if we have to go to a church parish hall or something, kind of just, if they won't come to government, maybe government can go to them. But I will always maintain an open door policy. I will always answer the phone calls and the emails. I will do everything I can to see to it that District 7 is vibrant and strong and safe.
Well, and so we're running out of time. So final pitch, and also if folks want to support you in this last 7 days, how can they do so?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Christopher Turner from Montgomery City Council, District 7. This came up at our forum the other night. I'm all about District 7. I'll always vote in the best interest of District 7, but when it's good for Montgomery, it's good for all of us, be it pickleball at the Pickle Mall, or maybe bringing back something like establishing a streetcar line in downtown Montgomery. The Lightning Route is original to Montgomery. We had the first electric streetcar line. Go after the U.S. Department of Transportation grants to pay for, but that's just one more thing to bring people into Montgomery, to bring people downtown to Montgomery, so that when they come back for Buckmasters, they can ride the streetcar up and around the new State House and back down to Commerce Street.
I like that idea, and I said I was going to let you go, but do you know a guy by the name of Craig Cornwell?
I do not.
All right, I was in one of his houses there. It's near MA, and he loved the Lightning Route. He would not shut up about the Lightning Route if he tried to get him to. So you probably would have. I just know there are a lot of folks who would be boosters of an idea like that.
Well, you think New Orleans, you think the French Quarter, you think the streetcars. There's no reason why you can't think good things about Montgomery.
Right. There you go. Well, Chris, I appreciate your time and best of luck. And if you want to call in the day before or on Election Day, it's going to be wild. We'll have a lot of people calling in, but just text me or send me a message and we'll get you on.
Thank you very much, Joey. Y'all have a great day.
You too, Appreciate it, Chris. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. So let's tell folks about Alabama Home Mortgage, Eddie. Madeline was working. This is the angle I want to go with.
Okay.
How quickly did Madeline start working again after having this recent baby?
I don't think she ever stopped, to be quite honest.
And that's her own choice.
That's
obviously
by all means.
Leave,
but I and her were in the middle of a deal. And whenever you're in the middle of a deal, it can go haywire south at any moment. And there were a couple of times where there were bumps in the road. And I was hesitant to reach out to her. But when I told her that, she just laughed. Eddie, I've done this before. I've had babies, and I can write mortgages. Just keep calling. And honestly, man, she had a great birth with her baby, and I'm glad. But we also had a great closing that I'm even happier about, too. Because in that case, we all got paid. But she's been Superman all during that time. And you saw her. She was coming in here. She'd still do live remotes with us.
Right.
She was fully pregnant. A lot of women won't do that. That just shows her dedication to the job, man. Absolutely love them.
And what a slogan for a lady. I have babies and I write mortgages.
That's what she does, man. That's what she does.
And of course, Madeline, who's great, learned from the best.
Oh, from the best. Kim
Williams there
Absolutely
at Alabama
the
Home
best.
Mortgage. She started Alabama Home Mortgage because she realized working for a big bank, hey, people aren't getting the best possible deal.
Yeah, but
I
she
can get
realized
them a
she
better
could
deal.
serve them better. That's right.
And so over the years, they've earned that reputation, whether you're looking to buy a home, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're looking to refinance that current home. A lot of people are with, certain levels of credit card debt.
No doubt.
Hey, and it might even be a 10% mortgage rate, but that's a lot better than 25, 30% on that credit card.
What was that offer you saw the other day? 29%?
Yeah, 29.998. I was like, no, that's right in the trash. So you'll check out Alabama Home Mortgage today. That's 567-4223, 567-4223. You can also visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an Eagle Housing lender. More news and views in the afternoon. Well, after this quick break.
Not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Looking for a new career with flexible hours, competitive pay, generous paid time off, and countless benefits? Then visit us at our job fair for the Riverside Marketplace at Wind Creek, Wetumpka, from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, August 15th and 22nd, and Thursday, September 7th at the Entertainment Center. Can't make it? No problem. You can also visit our Career Center at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kickstart your new career today.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to Montgomery Men's Health. I got some lab work and a urologist prescribed me some meds. Wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough good about them. They took care of me, followed up, and made adjustments to make it happen even better. I even learned I had low testosterone, which they were also treating me for. And I have never felt better. If I were you and you're like me, I'd give them a call today at 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. If you like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. The news and views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Joey. I'm getting over the fact that I'm not a millionaire and won't be going back to Jamaica no time soon. So.
One of these days, Eddie.
Oh, it's a couple months away, but...
No, how about this? You just quit your real estate gig and go in, all in with me, and we'll be like multimillionaires when we take this show like international.
I would be willing to do that, but we got to have certain conditions have to be met, and I think we have to negotiate that off air.
Yeah, I hear you.
But
is it about that thing with the foot massage?
That one thing. That's our breaking point.
I ain't giving a man a foot massage. Plus, I've got my brother as backup as my agent. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
How's that working out for you?
Well, you know that guy we interviewed, Binkley,
yeah.
Ryan Binkley. He started at the job my brother is now.
Is that right?
Like in medical device sales, and he's learning. My brother's learning a lot of skills.
Good
so
deal.
Maybe he'll jump out of that. And
what type of medical devices does your brother sell, Joey?
actually, he got. I don't know what the latest one is, unless it hasn't changed.
Okay.
For a while, he was doing gastrointestinal.
Oh.
Around
Did
Montgomery.
like that lap band deal?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
he was the guy that sold that's a remarkable, they take up your butt and, put a rubber band around a diverticulum.
I was going to say, it's $1 million idea. I put a zip tie on you and I get paid big time bucks.
Still, that's a thing that there were only so many gastrologists in the,
I
but
got you.
so he did well, but
Okay.
he then moved laterally to a different company.
Mm-hmm.
And he's now selling, or last thing I saw him selling, it's like completely disposable, like scopes. So it's a monitor, like a tablet.
Yeah.
Electronic scope that hooks up.
Yeah.
You can do it for ear. You can do it to yourself. You can see inside of your
I've seen
ear,
those
up
on TikTok,
nose,
yeah.
and your throat. And then once the nurse or doctor's done with that, they just put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in a recycle bin, ship it to the company. So they don't have to clean anything. And it looks state of the art, looks great. It was fun to play with. And I'm like, okay, do these things sell themselves? He's like, yeah.
Oh, I bet
So,
I've seen the clips
good
on
gig.
TikTok that do that. But
Good gig.
I was just wondering if he was one of those guys that sell the equipment like I got a box in the mail the other day. Instead of doing a colonoscopy, they got another way to do it now.
Yeah, another way to do it? Wow.
A lot simpler way, but yeah.
You know, visit from Frank or something?
No, just got to put a sample in a box and mail it away. A lot less invasive, I hear.
Oh, I see. I see how. Yeah, I see what you're throwing down there. Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, folks. I'm just going to ignore what Eddie was saying there. And again, coming up, we do have RFK Jr. sitting down with Tucker Carlson. But Bo and the Goodson Group, Bo Goodson, second to none here in the River region, especially because he's been doing it for 40-plus years, 4+ decades of serving buyers and sellers in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo Goodson truly knows the River region real estate market. And not only can they help you with buying or selling your property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed real estate school programs here in the great state of Alabama because it's, very interactive. And Bo is bringing to bear that 40-plus years of experience. He's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you can learn from, Bo's experience. You don't have to go through it yourself. Whether you're looking to be a more knowledgeable private player or if you're looking to take the test and become a licensed realtor, the Bo Goodson Real Estate School is the class to join. So check them out today. You can always go online to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson of the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. And we also have another thing going on, folks. I don't know if you've heard these remote breaks during our radio breaks, but it's a big fundraiser we're doing.
Right.
And I know very well this statistic.
Mm-hmm.
That 1 in 3 people are expected to be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime.
Right.
A third of people. Well, the Cancer Wellness Foundation of Central Alabama serves cancer patients in the River region and gives help and hope to those who need assistance on the road to recovery. We need your help, folks. We need your help. Join us. It's called Operation Help and Hope. We're collecting items to go to chemo comfort care bags that are offered to all new cancer patients. Folks, this sort of treatment, I saw it firsthand with my mother. It is just, it saps you of your energy. It saps you of your life as they're trying to save your life. And so you don't know, if you've never been through it, how much it means to somebody when they receive these care packages. So the items they're calling for that we really want you to put out there: fuzzy socks,
right?
That's nice. Boost, nutritional drinks, blankets, digital thermometers, hard candy, pill boxes, travel-size tissues, small hand sanitizers, lip balm, puzzle books, and pens. You kind of get the idea.
Right.
So look for our big blue barrels at our sponsor locations. That's Amy's Antique and Flea Market, ASE Credit Union, Wetumpka and Eastchase,
Okay.
Clark Heating and Air, Ernest Financial, GFL Environmental, Just Blinds, Riverside Chevrolet,
Okay.
and Worth Cleaners. All blue barrels there. Today, well, there's been a remote out at Ernest Financial.
I believe so. I think I heard Jay out there.
Right, and the Worth Cleaners remote is just getting finished up. But tomorrow, News Talk, or Blue Water, excuse me, our Blue Water family will be at Just Blinds, then GFL Environmental.
Okay.
But folks, get out there and let's get these donations put together. Fill up those blue barrels. Cancer is, well, it's touched too many people. Like I said, 1 in 3 lives. And so just a little bit of this sort of help. These sort of items can go a long, long way. We really appreciate y'all's support. More news and views in just a moment.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Hawaii officials expected to release the first names today of those identified in the Maui devastation, even as teams intensify the search for more dead. The death toll in those fires now at 99. The chief Taliban spokesman says the Taliban view their rule of Afghanistan as open-ended, drawing legitimacy from Islamic law. He spoke in an interview on the eve of Tuesday's second anniversary of the Taliban takeover of the country. He also suggested a ban on female education will remain in place. Sales at retailers accelerated by more last month than expected, up 0.7% from the previous month, according to the Commerce Department. The Dow is down 305 points and the NASDAQ 118 points in the red. This is SRN News.
The recent bank failures are serving as a warning about how fragile our banking system really is. As millions of Americans panic, do you know what central banks are doing? Well, they're actually buying up gold at record levels. They're relying on it as a safe haven during these difficult times. That's how confident they are in the dollar. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian author and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. We're all Americans who want to protect our family's savings no matter what. I tell people the best option is to diversify their 401k or IRA into physical gold or silver with the help of Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, just text the word FAITH to the number 989898 to get a free information kit on gold IRAs. Look, there's no strings attached. It's not going to hurt you to take action now. So take the first step today and educate yourself. Get your free info kit when you text FAITH to 989898 right now. And I pray you and your family are greatly blessed.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. Another very hot day today with dangerous heat indices, but get ready. There's better news ahead. Today's high temperature up to about 97. Heat index as high as 107. Scattered storms along a frontal system this afternoon, maybe a few on the strong side. Continuing into the evening hours before ending, low 70. Tomorrow, much lower humidity. Sunshine, not as hot, high 93. Upper 60s Wednesday night. Thursday, more sun, no storms, reasonable humidity, high 94. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville addresses the rumors coming out of Washington, D.C. that call into question whether the senator has a true residency here in the state of Alabama. Tuberville spoke about it with 1819 News Editor-in-Chief Jeff Poore on FM Talk 106.5 out of Mobile.
Yeah, we went through this during the election. I've had a house down in Santa Rosa Beach for about 22 years now. Well, so do thousands of other Alabamians. I live in Auburn. And I spend most of my time, free time though, I spend most of my time in D.C. When I'm back, I'm either in Auburn or I go to Destin, it depending on what I have to do in the state. If it's been a long week, sometimes I might want to go to the beach and get away from this craziness. But I spend a tremendous amount of time in the state going around seeing the people, Jeff, and that's what it's all about. And again, if people didn't want me in there, I wouldn't have won by 20%.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Do you believe in the rights of parents to educate their children? If so, join 1819 News for an evening with author and political commentator James Lindsay on August 25th at Oak Mountain Brewing Company in Pelham, as he and other guests discuss how to stop the government's attempts to indoctrinate and control your children. Tickets are available for a limited time, so visit 1819news.com and click events. That's 1819news.com.
Well, the first weekend of alligator hunting has already taken place in the state of Alabama, and it resulted in a massive capture for Taylor Douglas. The gator that Douglas and his crew found was 12 feet 9 inches long, 524 pounds. That is a record to break for the remainder of the gator hunting season. The gator was caught south of Interstate 10 in Mobile Bay and took over an hour to be reeled into the boat. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today. The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. So, as promised, folks, let's get to some. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube or Twitter. It's on DC Shorts, the Daily Caller's YouTube site, if you want to watch this. But Tucker Carlson sitting down with RFK Jr. So let's go to this and start it up, folks. This is a particular portion. Well, I believe, let's just listen in.
Dinner with Mike Pompeo, I don't know, 3 weeks ago. And he said something really interesting to me.
Wait, you had dinner with Mike Pompeo
in Las Vegas. Yeah. And he said something.
What was that?
It was the weirdest dinner I've ever been to. If I told you the other people were at that dinner.
Well, because I just can't imagine I know Mike Pompeo. I'm not attacking Mike Pompeo, but I can't imagine two people with more different views.
No, I've always, I have a kind of natal hostility toward Mike Pompeo, but I never knew him. But just because he was, for people who don't know, he was the CIA director and he was Secretary of State under Trump.
So that's the little teaser there, folks. And he, in a second, RFK Jr. is going to get to what Mike Pompeo actually told him at this dinner. But first, let's go to Wayne. Hey, Wayne, how you doing?
Hey, Joey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Hey, I'm not trying to send you in a different direction. You've had several mayoral candidates on in the recent past. I think it's great that you're doing that. I'm curious why none of the applicants are actively playing, pointing to. There are live recordings of the incumbent saying he didn't need to work. He's already got all the black vote he needs, and he's just about guaranteed 30 or 40% of the white vote. He's right there on tape saying, "I don't have to do anything." He used a little bit more colorful language, but that would seem to me, if I was a candidate, to be a number one thing that I would want folks to hear. This man doesn't care about either of those parties in Montgomery. He doesn't feel like he has to work for either one of them.
Well, it seems like Stephen's opponents have decided to try to take the high road in this race, or they could have made the assessment. Who knows? We still got a week left. You could see ads drop, but they might have made the assessment too. This helps Mayor Reed more than it hurts him. It just, I'm remembering back to people react to that. Some folks are really taken aback and aghast at what he had to say, and then other folks are like, "Man, I like it. He's showing backbone." So it was kind of a mixed bag, actually.
Well, he also kind of trashed the Maxwell, didn't he? I mean, a lot of these things are important to the city of Montgomery.
I agree.
And as mayor, it's pretty crazy that he would sling mud like that.
Well,
I mean, I don't live in Montgomery anymore, so I don't have a dog in the fight, but
well,
I'm
and
watching
Charles
the
Lee has that lawsuit ongoing. I don't think Charles has been arrested or anything for extortion.
Not to my knowledge, nope.
And, I mean, we'll see where it all goes, but I think the folks, whether I haven't had a chance to talk to Marcus McNeil, but talking to Victorious and Barrett, they seem to be trying to run an above-board campaign.
Very much so. Both of them have. And they're just not into slinging mud. They don't think that it's going to get them anywhere. And honestly, I hate it that people actually love that mudslinging, but honestly, in this election, you can just look at the numbers. Just look at the numbers of what's going on.
Those
People
two
moving
guys,
in and
those
out
two
and that
guys
kind
are
of thing.
great candidates. The Barrett and the gentleman you had on yesterday are great.
Super candidates.
Yeah. Too bad they can't gang up.
Well, who knows? We'll see how it shakes out.
We still got a week to go.
Hey, well, welcome back, Eddie. I would say, we're glad to have you back, but we're sure you're not that glad to be back. So
Reality is slowly sinking in with me.
I hear you. Enjoy, guys. Have a great show.
See you, brother.
Thank you, Wayne. Now, as promised, let's go back to this big interview. And RFK was setting it up. Tucker was kind of aghast, taken aback that you had dinner with Mike Pompeo. Well, let's keep watching. What Pompeo apparently told RFK is fascinating. It has something to do with the agency, CIA.
And but he's an interesting guy.
He's smart.
Very smart. He's Harvard. I think he went to Harvard Law School and
He did.
Harvard undergrad, and I think he had a military career.
Army officer. Yep.
And he, he's by all, on paper, he's kind of a great American by all, his CV is extraordinary. And you never know, you make judgments about people before you meet them. And my judgment about him, I still don't know what to think of him, what he
So
said.
wound up at dinner. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Bobby Kennedy and Mike Pompeo in Vegas at dinner. If I'd stumbled across that, I would have stopped.
It wasn't just the two of us. It was the rest of the group makes the story even weirder. So I'm not even gonna. I don't know if I'll even go there. But he said to me before dinner, I had a moment with him, and he said to me. When I was at the CIA, I did not do what I should have done to fix that agency. And he said, and he was expressing regret. And he said, and then he turned to me and looked me dead in the eye, and he said, the entire upper echelon of that agency is made up of individuals who do not believe in the democratic institutions of the United States of America. That's a quote.
But so it was Mike.
Okay. Somebody needs to go find Mike Pompeo and ask him about that quote immediately. Immediately.
Not surprised, are you?
No.
Surprised that he let it out in public.
Right.
supposedly.
No,
Yeah,
it's interesting. This is something that maybe my more radical friends or more populist, or who are people just more cynical about the future of our politics in this country. But I think you should have hope for this reason, one of many. It's not like everybody who works in the establishment's a bad person. Like, actually, it's going to take a lot of folks that you might look at and go, look at that rhino, that establishment person. It's going to take people like that if the country's going to get out of the hell we're currently in. It's definitely going to take new leadership and new ideas, too. But it's not like the millions of people work for these institutions. They're not all bad folks. And actually, I think RFK Jr. speaks to that here. Let's go back and let him finish this conversation.
Pompeo, who convinced Trump not to release the file, and it was a guy who worked for Mike Pompeo texted me the day after I revealed that those files showed CIA complicity in your uncle's death, which they do, because I talked to someone who read them, and I said that on Fox News, and I got a text from a guy who works for Mike Pompeo informing me that I had just broken federal law, and that anyone who had told me that was a felon, because we had revealed classified information. And I said, wait a second, that classified information suggests the U.S. government was involved in the murder of an American president. Yeah, that's Mike Pompeo's position on that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit weird for him to say, I think.
Well, there's 1 billion documents classified.
Yeah, I know.
Top secret. So, they can call it, they can stamp that stamp on anything they want to. That's a lawyer's
incredible
trick, to put.
And he was also behind convincing Trump not to pardon Assange.
Yeah, well, that confirms my earlier assessment of Mike Pompeo.
Well, and later, as I keep going in this conversation about the CIA, what would RFK Jr. actually do if he became president to the agency? And what he says is that from folks who would know, say, 20, 25, 30,000 people that work for the CIA, a good 20 to 25,000 of them are good, patriotic Americans. And in fact, these are the folks you want doing things. And so what's the distinction here? Well, the distinction is the Office of Plans needs to be separated from the Office of Espionage. It's the espionage folks who are the ones doing the hard, lifting, heavy lifting. They're the ones actually assessing, okay, where are the threats in this part of the world and processing the information and creating leads. I mean, they're the folks on top of it. It's the few thousand who run the Office of Plans. They're the ones that overthrow governments. They're the ones that fix and rig elections around the world. They're the ones that,
Even our own?
Jack Kennedy, RFK Jr.'s uncle, JFK, wanted to break it into 1,000 pieces. In particular, what JFK wanted to do is separate the Office of Espionage from the Office of Plans. And that's exactly what RFK is promising to do. And fascinating angle. Again, I think the Kennedy name does still carry some weight.
Sure.
And this guy sounds like an old school Democrat. And then on top of that, a guy who's willing to take on the CIA and other intelligence agencies, the FBI too, with a last name like this. Well, I think you should be paying attention to this fella.
Yeah, but when people like Mike Pompeo come out and say that he had a chance to change the organization and he didn't.
Yeah.
That's like the same as saying I should have done my job and I didn't, and now I'm seeking your apology. Or I'm seeking your forgiveness. No. It doesn't. It's lack of I should have done my job. I didn't do a job. Let me go fix it. Let me do something. Not just admit I failed. I took the money and failed. I'm sorry, but that's 90% of the problem we have with our leaders now is they refuse. He knew he should have done something then and didn't. And now he's saying, guys, I'm sorry I didn't. No, then you're a failed leader.
Right. Well, that's just scratching the surface. This was like an hour or so interview, folks, if not 2 hours. Watched it last night. And this next clip, this next segment we're about to play, about 5 minutes long, gets into this whole area of bioweapons and biolabs. And in particular, Anthony Fauci's role in all this. This is a hell of a 5 minutes. It's the sort of thing that's going to get people branded as conspiracy theorists. But I think RFK Jr. makes a pretty damn good case on this. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Bath Innovations of Alabama. And there at Bath Innovations of Alabama, Brad McDowell and his team, well, they're ready to help you. And with all the different options you have there at Bath Innovations, the combinations are endless. Seriously, endless. Like, what type of look do you want? Well, they've got so many different looks to choose from. What sort of tile pattern? Now, it could be, hey, you want to go with a herringbone with sort of a granite look, which would look fascinating for a shower. And then you add to not just the looks, like fixtures, like different shower heads, different faucets that you can install, different safety measures, whether they're safety bar railings or like...
Or the walk-in showers. That's a huge safety. If you have a tub and you have an elderly parent, and you can change that out to a walk-in shower.
Right.
That right there, the safety change right there is phenomenal.
Well, with like anti-slip mats and anti-slip seat, those railings, like I said, and I mean, the point is, there are so many options there at Bath Innovations, we could barely bring them all up here in this ad. The best thing for you to do is to think about your own specific needs. They can meet any price point, any budget, and go to bathinnovations.com and start playing around, start looking around. How could I remodel my bathroom and make, well, this place that I use every morning and night, if not all throughout the day, make it a place I actually enjoy, a space I actually appreciate. So check out Bath Innovations of Alabama today. You can, again, always go to the website, bathinnovations.com, call them at 271-2723, or just stop by that showroom at 2331 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Brad McDowell and the team there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. Let's go to Joey from Prattville. Hey, Joey.
How you doing today, brother?
Doing all right.
Gentlemen, how are the rest of you doing?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
You couldn't ask for nothing more, could we?
That's right.
Did I not call in the other day when I did my little redneck rant thing, and I gave the different quotes from the book Bo Lozoff, We're All Doing Fine? Phenomenal book. Please research it. And I gave the quote, to know and yet not to do is in fact not to know at all.
Yes, sir.
And here we are today talking about Pompeo. Well, I could have.
Right.
Well, you might as well just been as ignorant as the rest of them.
Amen.
Well, and you got to wonder, all these folks that have the opportunity and then balk at it, like, say, to release the JFK files, like Napolitano's told us that Trump told him, because Napolitano was lobbying heavy against, Pompeo and those types, saying, release this stuff. Trump said, if you saw what I saw, Judge, you wouldn't release it either. Like, what the hell is in there? I do leave open the possibility that there's just stuff we don't know where they're able to scare the crap out of people. And even the best intentions,
can't verify.
Twist an arm enough, squeeze a neck enough, they ain't going to talk.
We could take the whole little stupidity, I call it playing ignorant. I mean, they're all playing dumb.
Right.
Well, Pence did it. When the whole first thing, when all this very first started with the whole Biden-Trump election, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't do anything. But now he's doing interviews where he's talking about, well, I could have done this, but if I did it, it would have caused panic. Now, people were already panicked because they knew what was happening.
Right.
He played the whole little stupid thing, too. Fauci's done. Every one of them they keep playing. It's called gaslighting.
Yep. So they're lying. They know we know they're lying. They know we know they're lying, and yet they lie.
Gaslighting.
Right.
That's all they're doing. And as long as they can fill somebody's pocket, make somebody else happy, and make somebody else not have to put in to get something, they're going to keep doing it. I'm so sick and tired of this, man.
Yeah.
I showed up today. I have 5 new blisters and 3 new cuts on my hands for running a sewer machine down a health and rehab sewer line for 4.5 hours today. Non-stop on one toilet trying to get it done. Stop, man. And now,
right.
But somebody wants more from me.
Yep.
What else do you want, man?
Think what
else do I have to give you?
I know.
Because I'm not taking your chip. I'm not taking your back. I'm not falling for your dumb crap. I'm not doing it. So at what point and I've heard calls throughout the day where people talked about today that it's going to come to the point, and this was on the 912 with the guys and the girls. But a gentleman that called me, he mentioned about how it was going to come to an actual violent, like Civil War type revolution type thing. Oh, we don't think we're going to come to. No, we are so close to that. It is pathetic, and people do not realize it.
Well, and I don't think it's going to be like, say, revolutionary, revolutions or insurrections, anything like we've seen in history. I think people are different, technology's different, but I am more than willing to bet that something dramatic that isn't in the normal plane of politics could happen, like a big reshuffling. One way or the other. It could be that whole Great Reset idea, or it could be sort of a rebranding and restoration in a different direction. But something's got to give. Let's say the house that was built over the last century is rickety, and it's going to fall one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. It's starting to look like it's about to fall fast, though. I think we're missing a couple walls. I mean,
yeah, I said it earlier. Let's not pretend like we know exactly how the table is set for 2024. I just have a feeling a lot more could happen. It's some of it issues that aren't explicitly political. Who the hell knows what could happen in this world with all the technology and upheaval?
I think 2024 is going to be the breaking point. I mean, if Trump can manage to survive this last round of indictment, and people, he gets bashed like he wants to do this big talking speech thing where he's going to pretty much lay out what he plans to do. But that's when you were talking to Judge Napolitano, but that's a horrible idea because you're giving your defense and this, that, and the other. But Trump survived since he announced coming down the escalator doing those type of things.
Right.
All he's doing is calling out that corruption. And I think what he's doing is Trump's actually putting the people against the government. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. If they thought that 1.2, 1.3 million people was a lot last time, if Trump manages to survive this, he gets the nomination. I actually think Trump will be the next Kennedy, and he'll be assassinated. He'll be if not the least, he'll be a Reagan with an attempt. The best thing he can do is be wise on his VP selection. That's my personal opinion. I think they will try to take him back.
Yeah,
he's coming.
You might be right, but I certainly, obviously, hope that doesn't happen. But also, if you think about it in strategic terms, they might not actually go with that either. That sort of tactic would undermine their strategy of trying to wipe him off the face of history books and off the face of the earth. I think that would make a martyr out of Trump. And honestly, anytime this talk of violence comes up, violence is always a possibility. People don't need to be naive about that. But I also just don't think it's necessary to go there, because once that starts, who the hell knows where it ends up? And I get people's frustrations, but and I'm open to radical solutions. I just don't think that route is a smart one to go down.
I'll give you one perfect scenario for the violence thing. When all the riots were going after the George Floyd thing, and we were watching it, we as Alabamians and Southeasterners, we were watching cities like Portland, Chicago, and Detroit, and Seattle. We were watching them being overrun with all this extreme violence. But now, here, you just held an interview with a dude running for District 7. I can't remember his name, and I apologize.
Chris Turner.
Kind of like a good thing. But now we're talking about it here, too. I remember posting memes back during the Antifa thing talking about, try that in the South. Well, guess what? They are. They are. It's moving to the South. Why do you think this whole riverboat thing sat on the news for 2 weeks?
Well, the imagery.
They're promoting it. Yeah. It's coming to the South. And that's when things are going to reach a head. Because 2024 is going to be very, very interesting. very interested.
Well, I'm willing to be surprised. In a way, I'm apprehensive about us not knowing what the future brings, but hell, it's exciting too. I appreciate the call, Joey.
Enjoy, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too, Joey.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. Now, we told you all about Dillon Rings earlier, all the services they could offer, but let's focus in, Eddie, on the custom design.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, the custom design work that Josh Ryder does there at Dillon Rings, really remarkable stuff. If you can dream it, Josh Ryder can make it a reality. Isn't it so cool, the CAD software, he can design, say, a ring. Maybe you want to combine two pieces of jewelry, turn it into a ring. He's done that before.
Right.
And so what he can do is create it digitally first.
Yeah.
Can create a digital rendering where it looks like, it's on your finger.
Looks like it's on your hand, yeah.
Your skin tone and whatnot. So before he ever starts actually doing the jewelry work, you can see, oh, I like it. Okay, Josh, let's make it real. And then he will. It's really amazing. So rings, especially like family heirlooms that get passed down, you want to wear it, but it's a little outdated, so they can update it, keep the actual spirit of what it is, and you can just keep that tradition going in the family. He's created jewelry to help folks commemorate or remember someone, whether it's a lost parent or a child or a friend. And sometimes you're just looking to have fun. I want a big pendant. I want it all iced out.
I want it,
exactly. Josh Ryder can do it all. So check him out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com. That's DillonRings.com. Or give him a call at 215-3669. And, of course, you can always stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, right off of Atlanta Highway, where the old fun zone used to be. I used to work there. Fun memories. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. More News and Views, well, after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Picture this. A serene, tranquil resting place surrounded by nature's beauty. A place where memories are cherished and loved ones are forever remembered. We're talking about your final resting place, and it's never too early to start planning for it. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka has been family-owned and operated for over 55 years. We understand the importance of pre-need planning. You can make decisions that reflect your personal wishes. You can choose the perfect location, whether it's a serene garden, a peaceful mausoleum, or a place in our cremation wall. Pre-need planning alleviates the burden from your loved ones during a time of grief. By planning ahead, you can secure today's prices, protecting yourself and your family from future cost increases. So why wait? Contact Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka today. Your final resting place should be a reflection of your unique journey. Take control of your future and make pre-need planning a priority. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka, where memories live on.
What'll it be, Joe?
Coffee and apple pie. Whoa, Madge, what was that?
The lights? Oh, they always dim when the dishwasher turns on.
You should call Crosby Electric.
You think?
Overloaded circuits at your business can be dangerous. The experts at Crosby Electric can upgrade your electrical service to safely handle the load. And they can add receptacles where needed to eliminate overuse of extension cords.
Madge, I'd like to pay you. The problem is it's so dark in here I can't read my bill.
No, the problem is you're cheap.
Well, that's a problem too.
Effective, attractive lighting is essential for any business. Crosby Electric can help with a new lighting scheme that will give your business a fresh, exciting look. And they can recommend outdoor lighting for greater safety and security.
That'll be $4.50 for the coffee and pie, Joe.
Don't I get anything for recommending Crosby Electric?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Don't put off essential electrical upgrades for your business. Call 272-2085 or visit crosbyelectric.com.
Buckle up for a whirlwind of winnings at Wind Creek Wetumpka this summer, where you have a chance to win free play, cash, or a 2023 Ford Expedition. Just visit and play throughout July and August to earn entries. Preliminary drawings start at 5 p.m. every Saturday in August for free play and an entry ticket to the grand prize round on Saturday, August 26th. Finalists could win up to $5,000 cash, and one lucky guest will drive off in a brand new Ford Expedition.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Eddie and I having way too much fun off the air. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Doug from Titus. More of that RFK Jr. interview with Tucker coming up about Ukraine Bio Labs. That's the segment we're going to play. But how you doing, Doug?
And I'm doing great. I am doing great. Well, first thing I wanted to say, I'm glad that your radio dad, Budeo, has been having Tubbs on regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great the other day.
Yeah, and Joey, I heard the saddest stat about the Farm Bill. Only 30% of all that money is going to the farmers.
Yep.
More than 50% of it, Joey and Eddie, is SNAP and WIC.
SNAP benefits, WIC benefits.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sounds like a good deal for big agriculture.
I guess.
No, they get a bunch of these subsidies and insurance programs, and then they get a bunch of money put in the pockets of people to buy their subsidized food.
Well, I guess so. I hadn't thought about it like that.
That's why the two are paired together.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but he called in early today on your show, David.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it would take, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that there will be an armed insurrection. The only other thing that I'm going to try to put some hope in, Joey, is that we start electing younger congressmen and vet them to make sure they have, I think the word that I would choose to use is morality. And to want to do what's best for the citizenry of the country. And I think some of them start out that way, and then they get corrupted. I don't know.
That's why we need to have term limits, baby.
We do.
You can start out honest, and we'll keep you good and honest for about 3 to 5 years, and then about that time's when they start taking a little money.
Well, that's not a terrible idea. I want to grandfather Napolitano Luna, though. She's way too easy on the eyes to kick her out of Congress.
Yeah,
I know she's preggers. I know she's married, and good for you. That's an amazing thing. But I can say what I believe.
Free speech.
Well, too many of them also have skeletons in their closets, so when they get up there,
that's right.
Mitch McConnell, old turtleneck, pulls him off to the side and says, "You lockstep with me, or I'll ruin your political career."
Or they set up honeypots, like old General Petraeus got caught in one of those.
They were just doing push-ups. Him and Pamela Broadwell. It was nothing untoward.
There we go.
A little bit of hanky-panky and secret sharing in the evening. That's,
Traitor's a traitor.
People get lonely in those high-end positions.
He was doing the push-ups and she was the exercise mat.
Traitor is a traitor is a traitor.
I prefer to be an exercise mat. I appreciate it, Doug.
Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. Y'all enjoy your afternoon.
You too, Doug. See you, buddy.
Sometimes the mat is just being crushed. It's like the mat is. I'm losing all my 272-9228. Losing traction here.
I see.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by XI Repair. And there at XI Repair, Jonathan Strange and his team are ready to help you with all sorts of electronic repairs. You know, I don't know if you heard me talking about you while you're in Jamaica. I'm like, I think XI Repair and Jonathan, he was here on Friday.
Yeah.
I was asking him, do you survive just with Eddie's business?
I will be honest. Very few times do I get Jonathan involved. And most of the time when I tell them, I was like, hey, let's keep this between us. There's no reason to tell the boss.
Right, but he knows. He knows how often you're in there. So they can help with what? Crack screens?
Crack screens, man, they can help with. You got a virus on your phone, or maybe your phone is slowing down and you can't figure out why. They can help you out with that. So you get locked out of your account.
Right. What about if I drop it in the toilet?
They can fix that, Joey, but they will know that you dropped it in the toilet.
Yeah, you don't have to lie about it.
Right,
Just be
no reason
straight
to
up
lie
with
about it.
them.
Or maybe you stumbled upon one of those websites you shouldn't have been on, and now you got a little virus action on you.
Yeah, you've said that twice, which means I think you've gone through that.
Well, you know, by accident, sometimes things happen.
Yeah, you're doing your research.
It's viral.
And something pops up, and you're down a rabbit hole, and then, like, you got a virus.
Yeah, but let's say I've got a business idea, and I went into my computer last night. I typed it all in there. I got it all set up, but I turned on my computer this morning, and it's nothing. It's just dead.
Ooh, they can recover that there at XI
sure
Repair.
can.
Yeah, whether it's a big project or maybe you're in the middle of litigation, like your business partner screwed you over on a deal and they tried to delete incriminating emails, XI Repair can recover
They
that.
sure can.
And they can also sell you brand new smartphones, refurbished smartphones. They can even work on high-end gaming consoles like a PlayStation 5. They do it all. So check them out today. You can always go to xirepair.com. That's the letter X, the letter I, repair.com. Or give them a call at 777-1234. And be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Next contestant. Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
It's our biggest, fattest, zeroest event ever. Well, that's what it is. The Big Fat Zero event at the all-new Toyota of Montgomery. Buy a new Toyota with zero money down, 0% APR financing, zero payments till next year. What can be better?
Winning the lottery?
Sure, but then you'd have to pay a lot of taxes, pay your family, pay for a lawyer.
I prefer the Big Fat Zero.
Of course! Because when you buy a new Toyota from Toyota of Montgomery, you don't pay a penny down, a penny in interest, and not a penny till 2024. Get to the Big Fat Zero event and at Toyota of Montgomery. Online at toyotamontgomery.com.
$0 down on select new vehicles. 0% APR financing on select new 2023 vehicles with approved credit through dealer preferred lender with $100K financing limit. Maximum payment of $1,000 per month through 2024 plus tax, title, license, and $995 fee. May not be combined with some offers. Ends 8/31/2023.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks. no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over here.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. Another very hot day today with dangerous heat indices, but get ready. There's better news ahead. Today's high temperature up to about 97. Heat index as high as 107. Scattered storms along a frontal system this afternoon, maybe a few on the strong side. Continuing into the evening hours before ending, low 70. Tomorrow, much lower humidity. Sunshine, not as hot, high 93. Upper 60s Wednesday night. Thursday, more sun, no storms, reasonable humidity, high 94. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader still in the house.
In the house.
Good having you back this week, Eddie.
It
really
better
is.
if you were there.
I know, I agree.
We'd have had so much fun, Joey.
Actually, you want to go to Vegas to go see the new dome, or like that you saw that huge new structure they
Yeah,
have?
I'm down with that. I'm waiting for somebody to hack into it and put up their personal logo. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna happen.
I can't remember what it's called, but I was watching a video on it last night, and I'm like, Eddie and I should go to that.
I've seen a lot of people go. A lot of people take videos there. The coolest one I saw was the Earth when it first came out. That was really cool.
The
But
eyeball,
that kind of gave me the freaky.
No, but it's apparently the biggest screen on Earth.
Yeah.
LED screen on Earth.
It's incredible. I mean, again, when I first saw it, I thought it was more CGI than anything because it's so round, it's so perfect, the picture that it puts out.
Now, let's go back to good old RFK Jr. with Tucker Carlson, because this segment is just too good for us to skip over before we get out of here today, folks. This is Tucker and RFK Jr. talking about bioweapons and biolabs around the world. And RFK gives a lot more background than you normally hear. Let's listen in together.
What happened was, and when we walked away from when the Patriot Act reopened the bioweapons arms race in 2001, the Pentagon began putting a lot of money into bioweapons, but they were nervous at that time because if you violate the Geneva Convention, it's a hanging offense, and they weren't sure that provision in the Patriot Act would actually hold up as a loophole to treaties that had been ratified by Congress.
So, just to stop it there real quick, how bad is the Patriot Act now, especially in hindsight? God bless people like Ron Paul. Man, he was right about a lot.
Oh, he was.
Let's keep going.
They were nervous about actually going full force into bioweapons development. So they transferred the authority for biosecurity to one agency in the HHS called the National Institute for Infectious and Allergic Diseases, run by Anthony Fauci. So Anthony Fauci got all the responsibility for bioweapons development. He got at that time a 68% raise from the Pentagon in order to do that work. So, and that's why he was the highest paid official in the American government of 4 million people in the American. He gets more money. He got more money, $450,000 a year than the president. Any Supreme Court judge, any member of Congress, he was the highest paid, and it's because he got that 68% raise from the Pentagon to do bioweapons development. Now, when you do bioweapons development, every bioweapon needs a vaccine. So you develop them side by
I'm
side.
gonna let him keep going. Have you heard anything like this?
Yeah.
But
from about this, but from someone else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess RFK
That's why
did
I'm
write
glad
the
to see
book,
that
The
he's-
Real Anthony Fauci.
Right. I'm
yeah.
glad to see that he's put it out, because most other people I've heard it from, they would be considered kooks and things like that, and that's
I'm
what they
so
were
over
railed
it.
as.
I'm
right.
so over that.
Right.
Okay, you prim and proper people keep, making things better for everybody else.
Yeah.
Because in 100% of the cases, when you deploy a bioweapon, there's blowback.
Right.
Yep.
Your side also gets sick. So in order to deploy one offensively, you need a vaccine to counter it. So you need to vaccinate your team before you deploy it. So those two things are developed through a field of science called gain of function science, where you take an infectious microbe and you amplify its infectivity, or you make it jump species, so it may kill monkeys, now you make it kill humans, and you adopt it that way. And there's all kinds of methods, and then you make it immune to antibiotics and to therapeutic drugs and to other therapies. So it's actually the inverse of medicine. For 2,800 years since Hippocrates, doctors have been trying to figure out how to make microbes less infectious and less deadly, and develop antibiotics and therapeutics to do that. Well, the guys who are involved in this, there's 36,000 what are called life scientists, but they're actually death scientists, who are now employed full-time in developing, microbes that can be used to kill people.
But given the experience we just had 3 years ago, where a virus from a biolab overturned
So let me just finish this brief history about what happened. In 2014, 3 of those microbes escaped. Fauci built labs all over the country, in Galveston and Boston, everywhere. They're BSL-4 labs. We don't even know how many there are, BSL-3 and BSL-4. We have no idea how many there are. There's, we've counted them, and I have a new book coming out that goes through the ones we know. But there are many secret ones that people don't know about, and they're doing it here in the United States. But in 2014, 3 bugs escaped from 3 different labs. And they were high-profile breaks, and they were very dangerous things, smallpox and a couple of other bad microbes. The public learned about it, and there was a lot of publicity, and Congress held hearings. 300 scientists wrote President Obama and said, you've got to shut down Anthony Fauci, because he's going to create a microbe that will cause a global pandemic. And so Obama signed a moratorium that shut down the 18 worst of Anthony Fauci's experiments, where most of them were taking place in Galveston and in North Carolina by a scientist called Ralph Barrick down there. And instead of obeying that law, Anthony Fauci shifted a lot of his operations offshore. And those operations ended up, most of them in the Wuhan lab, which is a military lab, and that the Chinese run, the People's Liberation Army. And then a lot of them went to the Ukraine. So a lot of that science now, and it's funded, Fauci was funding lots of it. But then the other government agencies began to get confidence in, their ability to get away with it. And most of it is being funded by the Department of Defense. Most of all, the biggest single funder is USAID, which is, a CIA cutout.
There you go.
Now, as we discussed earlier, his plan is to break the CIA at least in 2. it's remarkable the more we learn. And I have heard stuff like that before. I remember reading them presented on air.
Right.
But to hear it from a presidential candidate's mouth.
A very credible person. Because in the past, really, the people I heard it from, I enjoyed them, but I couldn't take their credibility seriously. But with him, it's hard not to, Joey.
I think he's on to something. I think he's very much on to something, but we shall see.
But honestly, that just makes me more nervous that they, will try to shut him down. And that's why the Democratic Party is not giving him any attention. I mean, he's literally the redheaded stepchild they're all trying to ignore.
Well, here, let's hit a break. Hopefully we'll have Ray Bowles or David or Terry or somebody on the other end of the line from Prattville Carpet. We'll be right back, folks.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
He's been elected to 13 professional football all-star teams. His foundation has contributed over $50 million to help improve the quality of life for cancer patients and families in need. He played professional football for 20 seasons and was the 2009 championship game MVP. And he's coming to Montgomery for one night only. Faulkner University presents Drew Brees, October 5th at their annual benefit dinner. Tickets are on sale now. Order your tickets today by calling 334-386-7257 or at faulkner.edu.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. We got the man himself, Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet on the line. Hey, Ray.
Hey, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
Well, I've got everybody in the store today. I mean, everybody. We're talking Dad, Greta, Bart, Terry, David, Chad, myself, and Angie. I was thinking we could all do a group commercial.
Ooh.
And all of us talk at one time. What do you think? Probably not.
That's kind of like your answer right there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we have been busy as bees around here. You should see the back room. Okay, I'm finally through with Auburn.
Really?
Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I am all I got to do is bill it and collect the check.
There you go.
And honestly, you've done nothing until you get paid and put it in the bank.
That's exactly right.
We're just having fun until then. So here's the problem I've run into. I've got like 15,000 feet of material left over.
Okay.
And about 10 rolls of carpet that I will start giving some heck of deals from now until it's gone to get it out of here. So all it takes is a phone call. 285-8117. I'll send one of the guys out, give you a free measurement. Next thing you know, boom, you got a new floor down. Just that simple. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, come on, it's apartment carpet. It's not.
Mm-mm.
They actually put in a really nice carpet that's more stain-proof, so they don't have to replace it more often. And instead of a 6 mil, they went with 12 mil all the way through the place. There again, because they don't want to replace it 10, 20 years from now. So it's a really good color. All of it's up to date. Really good prices, because I bought a daggum truckload of everything. And you're going to get those kind of prices.
So again, that number, 285-8117. You can always stop by there on Copsford Road, 2201 Copsford Road. But when you call 285-8117, be sure to tell them, well, you heard Ray Bowles here with the whole team and family, or Ray Bowles on the radio. We tried, Ray. We tried to get the whole team.
We tried. That's right.
Guys, y'all have a great day.
You too, man.
Sir. Always great seeing
and
hearing from
Ray's
that
great.
guy. Now, we don't have much time here. I think tomorrow I'm going to read my op-ed. We just ran out of time today.
It's really good, Joey. I like it.
Yeah.
I posted it. Got a lot of positive feedback on it.
Yeah, folks, if y'all want to check it out, just go to 1819news.com, and it's trending now, so you can check it out there. But think we have enough time for a stupid fun thing.
Okay, what you got?
Remember the Janet Yellen story about her eating magic mushrooms?
Oh, yeah.
And
Getting paid to get high on the clock? Yeah, I remember that.
Right. I didn't know she was so cool.
Nah.
But she's asked about it in an interview here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I think what we should do is we should watch this all together, Eddie.
Okay.
What say you?
Sure.
All right, folks. One moment here. Here we go. Take it away, Janet.
We set off a frenzy because you ordered a mushroom dish that contains apparently what are considered magic mushrooms. Mushrooms that can be hallucinogenic. And so now these wild mushroom dishes are selling out at that restaurant's branches across China. You have sparked all this. May I ask you, I'm just quite curious.
Apparently so.
What was it like, the mushroom experience?
So I went with this large group of people, and the person who had arranged our dinner did the ordering. There was a delicious mushroom dish. I was not aware that these mushrooms had hallucinogenic properties.
Sure.
I learned that later. I can tell you that
Later,
none
like
of us
when you were sleeping
affected
and
by
having
the
visions, or?
mushrooms.
I think she's still having visions. Look at that
I
laugh.
just read that if the mushrooms are cooked properly, which I'm sure they were at this very good restaurant, that they have no impact.
What was she expecting her to say? Man, I was tripping balls? I mean,
Yes,
what was she expecting?
I think that's what that hottie Aaron Burnett was going for. Exactly.
Just don't get it.
Anyway, this is fun, Eddie.
I enjoy it, Joey. I really do.
It's good to have you back, you
Good to be
fatty
back,
bone
man.
batty. Actually, you're looking pretty skinny these days.
Oh, I gained some weight in the Jamaica. That 5 times a day force feeding.
I'm just saying, if anybody's a fatty bone batty, it's me. Look at this fat face.
It's okay,
Look at this
Chubbs.
gut. I keep eating too much pasta.
Pasta, huh?
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell and the lovely and talented Rosie. Well, they're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACR